right, I will be right back.
What the fuck kind of shit is this? What do you mean you'll be right back?
He's already recording. Come on, man. He was here before you, though.
I know. I was taking a nap. I was watching Discord.
Okay. I was resting my eyes, too. Yeah.
Naps. Those things you
wife-
say you don't take?
Yeah. But it is also nighttime, so technically I was going to sleep.
You playing Banner tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I'm playing tomorrow night. My last character tomorrow night. I like Banner's been fun, man. I've really enjoyed it.
Ooh, Capri Sun.
I thought I heard
it's in the game. All I can say is now that I've seen your face, Gator, my life has changed.
Oh, you probably like, damn, that guy's old. Yeah, I was kind of worried about that because I don't really show my face much. And once Kitty told me I was sexy as hell, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, honey.
You know what else changed my life? Seeing
that?
Respawn's face.
Yeah. It was great, man. It was great seeing everybody's face last night. I was so pumped everybody showed up. I was just Hazel doesn't like the attention. That's why we didn't really raise any hubbub on Friday when it was actually his birthday. So when nobody chimed in and said happy birthday, I was like, perfect.
All right, are we ready to do our skit?
Yeah, I'll read the lines exactly how you written them here. Sure I will. But Kingsley, I thought you guys don't do scripts.
But Gator, how are we going to keep you on track?
I know, right? Well, yeah, I don't, but... And also, some other Destiny podcasts actually look down on it. I mean, I'm just trying something new for episode 100. But honestly, it'll probably be gone at episode 101.
I just want to play Iron Banner anyway. Why am I having to read this?
Don't worry. So it'll be short. Gator, do you remember when you said you would still run raids? Most specifically, you said you would still run Deepstone Crypt even after getting Eyes of Tomorrow?
Yeah, I've been busy, man. I don't want to hurt everybody's RNG after I got Eyes of Tomorrow, so I'm just being nice to everybody, Yeah,
excuses. Okay, January 30th was the last time you ran a raid, and don't say you don't have time. I see that you've played probably at least 50 hours in the last month alone, and we all know that you have other accounts also.
Whoa, wait a minute. You do know I have to run a community, right?
But, it's not one of the hubs on the net, so who knows how good it really is. I can't even say it's like the third best hub on the net.
Yeah, and I always have some kind of comment whenever a podcast comes out, so...
Yeah, you can say that again.
Yeah. But I think the problem is, Gator, is you're just trying to promise everyone too much. I mean, if I can't trust you on your word about the raid thing, then how can I trust you'll keep your word on our other agreement, on our settled lawsuit? About how you would read our questions just as fast as speed as this year as everyone else? I think I might have to reopen the lawsuit.
I smell setup. Hazel, are you in on this? What the hell did I get myself into tonight?
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 100 of the Guardian Hub podcast, where we talk Destiny and our love of the game. We bring on different guests and communities to learn about them, their experiences in Destiny, and discuss other topics. Your hosts, as always, are Kingsley Mack, Sin, and Des Raven. Hey, everyone got their party hats on?
Is it nice and pointy?
Dunce cap, maybe?
Yes.
Sin has a dunce cap on. Des, do you have a party hat on? I have a party hat on.
Sure. We'll go with sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's just episode 100. We don't have to make it a big deal. I feel like we're expected to make it a big deal. I mean, we have a guest on tonight. I didn't know who else to get. Gator was the only one that said he would join us. How you doing, Gator?
Well. So this is what it's like at the big boys table, episode 100.
Yes, it is. So,
congrats, guys.
You're not that far away from it.
I know, but this is a nice view. I like this. This is a nice view. I like this.
It's
yeah.
Hopefully the view's okay.
yeah.
Well, Des isn't wearing pants. I just want to call that out right now. But
100%. You're right. I'm not wearing pants.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, you guys look pretty studly. I like it.
I thought that was usually Sin not wearing pants also, so I don't know what's going on tonight.
Well, I don't know. Des isn't wearing pants. I actually took a little bit of a nap before recording tonight. I mean,
I know it could be a long
the
episode.
tables have turned.
We don't have anything to talk about, right?
Nah, it's dead
sweet.
week. Dead game.
Negative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, good call.
Well,
Just
didn't you
have to
say
be-
we could run a master presage while recording?
while recording?
Did we say that? No.
I mean, maybe if
Jeez.
Gator can just keep the conversation going while we're running
Look
it.
at the time. Wow. I didn't realize.
Yes, and what are you doing in the game? Are you actually doing some Iron Banner right now?
I am.
Nice.
Yeah, I jumped on like right as we were recording, and I was like, "Yeah, Iron Banner sounds good."
You have the game sound on this time, like the last time you played Iron Banner?
Well, that time Craig did go down, and unfortunately, that was a little bit of a debacle with OBS recording everything.
Sorry, I'm just reminiscing.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
But I know for next time, if I got to use OBS, I can't play anything else. So no Spotify in the background, no game, nothing.
No other hubs. All right, moving on. Well, Gator, we haven't officially had you on as a guest. I mean, you've been on the podcast before with our raid recording episode.
Yeah,
Raid
a couple
recording,
times.
tripods,
Yeah,
tripods,
also,
that's true.
I was on
bipods.
you had a young and old gamer.
That's true.
show.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
What I meant to clarify to say at the beginning is just you. You know what I mean?
I agree. This is my
Yeah.
first guest visit. Technically, yeah.
All right. He's like, yeah, I've actually been on 5 times with different things.
But no one-on-one encounter.
Good
What I'm
point,
trying to say is
Or
feel
3
honored.
on
We
1.
invited you for episode 100.
I honestly, I feel honored. When you asked me a few weeks ago, I was like, really? Okay. Absolutely. I'm there, dude. 100 episodes. That's a great accomplishment, man. Really is.
Let's pretend we don't know anything about you. Tell us where you're from. Tell us how you got into the game of Destiny. Why is your gamer tag G_A_? No,
Yeah. What's up with that
No.
gamer tag?
we'll just take this however it goes. But yeah, I mean, okay. I know that you like to say you like Florida a lot. Tell us about Florida.
You seriously? You want me to introduce myself? Okay.
Yes, please do.
Sure. Well, my name is Gator. I've been born and raised in Central Florida all my life. I'm one of the rare ones. I operate my own pest management company. I've been doing that for 25 years now. Been married for 28 years. And yeah, I'm old. You do the math, you can figure it out. I was a huge Call of Duty player. I had groups of old farts like me that played every night forever. I mean, since Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare, and we play every year, we play the new game. And I just got so burnt out on it. I got so burnt out on shooters. And then in about 2014, a little game called Destiny popped up at E3, and I saw the live action ad they had running, and I was like, I cannot wait. The overall feel, the overall look of the game. And then when I first played the game, the very first story, I'm sure everybody knows, you're coming out into the Cosmodrome where the spider drops. All of a sudden, the skies turn black, everything shakes, and this booming sound comes over you, and this huge ship comes out of nowhere, knocks over some other things in the world,
And you got
flies
scared
right.
and ran away, right?
I did. I was scared to death, and I
It's too
started
scary.
running.
I got to turn it off.
I was like, man, what is going on here? I've never been in a game so immersive as this. And I started running, and then I realized nothing's chasing me. Okay. But no, I've been playing Destiny since the beta. I've done just about everything in Destiny, just about. And
Oh yeah, and we will talk more
fun
about
fact
that.
about
but-
Florida. Okay.
Yes,
Fact
about Florida.
Where I live in Florida, it's very close to Orlando. It's a little suburb north and west of Orlando. And what's to say about Florida? It's not as crazy as everyone says it is. I mean, we're not all in our bathroom sniffing bath salts or whatever those people do. And Florida man does not represent me, okay? As Hazel likes to keep pointing out. That's my co-host, by the way. And yeah, I mean, it's just a beautiful place to live. I mean, the weather's, yes, it's very hot and very uncomfortable in the summer, which is about 4 months of the year. The rest of the year, it's pretty nice. It ranges from windy and kind of balmy to, we get a few 30-degree nights. But other than that, it's pretty much shorts and t-shirt weather just about year round.
What about sinkholes? Is there not sinkholes everywhere?
Yeah, it's always, it's like every state has its issues, but sinkholes haven't heard of them lately, but they're out there. I've heard, there was news that a local guy died. He was sleeping in his bed, got sucked into oblivion in a sinkhole. I kid you not, never to be found again. So it can happen. I mean, your day comes, it comes. So, but I started a Destiny podcast. That's about
Yes. Tell us about your podcast in case for those uninitiated, if they haven't heard it yet.
Well, it's called Guardian Downcast. Myself, I have a co-host named Hazel. In fact, his birthday was this weekend. We did like a little surprise Zoom call for him. And Easy was our third guest at the beginning. And unfortunately, because of family stuff, he had to fall out, and he has kids, young kids. And anyway, we've been doing it for almost 2 years now. And think of us as we're two dads that love everything about Destiny, and we talk about it. And we have a segmented show. We tend to go long, but if you think of our podcast as more like a radio show, we have about 4 to 5 segments every show, and we have timestamps. So if you want to skip around, you can skip around. And our main thing that we do is we interview content creators and community members all across the Destiny world here and find out more about them. This is something that AKA Gear Dad from the Dad's Tales, he started a podcast also, and he did that very thing, and that he unfortunately had to cut it short. And I was like, no, that was such a great show. I love hearing about people's stories, where they come from, and we just incorporated it into our podcast. And yeah, that's about it. I can't think of anything else to say.
Well, I mean, you're on episode 84, not too far behind us.
Yep, we just had the great Ascendant Nomad on this week.
Yep.
And me being a PvP geek, I was totally smitten. He told me to keep it in my pants, so I behaved. So yeah, it was a great show. Yeah.
As Hazel would do, just a sigh.
Yeah, that's his little thing he does.
But seriously, we love your podcast. The community of Destiny podcasts are generally great out there. And I know there's some that don't interact with others as much, but I really appreciate how you guys and us and Two Titans and a Hunter and other groups have kind of, given tips back and forth and had guests and kind of like commingle with each other. Can we all be friends? Can we be your friend? But you know what I mean? It's like, you guys have a great podcast. I like it.
We all share Discords. I mean, Two Titans and a Hunter, they're working on building their Discord now. They were working off a band server forever, their Frozen Clan, sorry. And I think we intermingle quite a bit every day. So we kind of know what's going on in our separate communities.
Oh yeah. It's Guardian Hub and Guardian Down podcasts and Two Titans and Hunter, since theirs is getting a little more active. I mean, they're probably the top 3 in my list of anything I check.
There's only one other podcast I listen to besides yours, and it's my own, because I'm my worst critic. I always have to hear what I produce and put out. It's the first thing I listen to every week, and then the next thing is Where's Guardian Hub? And you guys have been late. You guys have been late. I have a complaint. And you guys have been late the last few weeks. Did you guys move your release date?
I mean, what were you thinking our release date was?
Well, usually I would get the podcast out on Sunday evening, so most people would listen to it on Monday, and then by Tuesday, you guys usually had yours out, and I always went to Tuesday thinking, okay, Guardian Hub, what are they talking about this week? And it was like Wednesday, I think, or Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh my gosh! Well, we've never had an official.
I'm just giving you guys.
I know.
That's just my certification that I listen to you guys every week. So.
Oh yeah.
And it's always a great time. It's always a great thing when you miss a release date and one of your listeners says, "Hey, I was looking for you guys this morning. You weren't there. What's going on?" I love hearing that.
Yeah. Hey, I have a complaint. Yours is getting earlier. It's not late Sunday night anymore.
It was only early because I was going to be on the show tonight, and I had to get all my editing done early.
I feel like last week's was too. But anyways.
Maybe.
Get them back on schedule, Gator. Get them back on schedule.
My bad.
Don't they have an app where you can just schedule the release even if they're done?
Yeah, I can. I use Libsyn. And I can schedule it to be released whenever, but...
Did you just say lip sync?
No, Libsyn.
Libsyn. Libsyn.
Yeah, that's our publisher. And I like them. They have really good stats. I mean, we're in probably almost 30 countries around the world, which just blows me away.
Well, I'm sure we're in at least 31, so whatever.
You guys are the best hub on the net. I mean, it's probably tied for another hub. I got to be honest.
Well, yeah. DestinyNewsHub.com.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Well, speaking of podcast, I mean, we had a great question, and I want this for you too, Gator, but even though it was focused towards us, but Helios had a question for the show, and he said, okay, I'm making it to 100 episodes. Congrats, by the way. What's the most surprising thing you have learned about podcasting and about each other? And will you ever incorporate new segments / games into the show to one-up Guardian Downcast? And who has been your favorite guest? I mean, excluding myself, because I know I would always be your favorite every time, right? Great question, Helios.
Yeah, that's got to be Helios. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good guy. I like him.
I mean, running the podcast, it's about, for me, and then I'm curious Sin does thinks, and you too, Gator. I mean, it's about what I expected. It's not necessarily too much harder or easier than I expected. Getting guests is pretty normal. I mean, when people are willing and they respond to you right away, it usually goes pretty well. And then there's some people that you don't hear from. And then other times I just don't feel like getting a guest because it's a lot of work. And so we just try, for me anyways, I want a show where we're semi-regular and we have fun talking about the game, but I don't like to stress about it. So because of that, the podcast has been pretty easy going for me. Favorite guest, we'll just say our current guest, Gator, right now. Besides Helios, of course. What do you guys think?
Des, you can go first on this one.
I mean, we incorporated a new segment this week. We have our skit. I don't know if it'll stay, Helios. Sorry.
Well, I don't know. This one feels a little weird for me. And that's because this is my second 100. But, I haven't been here for the full 100, so, So yeah, but as far as like learning things and like podcasting, like for sure over my career of podcasting, I'd have to say that like I said, it's one hand drastically easier, on the other unbelievably nerve-fraying. But yeah, I mean, just I guess the most remarkable thing is the communities that you can or the community that you can really like, craft kind of in your image, sort of. We'll go with that. As far as favorite guests, sadly, I haven't been here when Helios was a guest, but I do love you, Helios. And just despite our current guest, my favorite guest is Hazel.
Excellent.
Of course it is.
Hazel is pretty awesome. So
Yeah, we'll give him that.
Sin.
We'll give that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sin?
Let's see, 100 episodes. Yes, that is definitely that's definitely a feat in its own.
I mean, you edit them also.
Yeah, I know.
Probably do the most work.
Well, I don't edit much lately. I put some music in there. I flip it and reverse it. I cut and splice. I don't take out the breaths like I used to when I first started editing. So I learned one thing that I learned was something from Danfinity where he said, you don't have to over edit and you can just kind of make it more natural. Like you don't have to take out all these breaths and stuff. So I did kind of learn that from him. I don't have to be over picky.
Mm-hmm.
As you put that in there. And then new segments. Yeah, we did have that skit. I think you're right. I don't know if it'll necessarily stick around, but that was definitely kind of cool. And then other games. Why not Borderlands? We did play that a lot. But I don't think there's much going on now.
We're never against talking about other games, right? I mean,
right.
You guys has had great long conversations. We used to talk about Borderlands more. Yep. I mean, this is going to be a primarily Destiny podcast, but it's not like we're against talking about other stuff.
Right. You just don't want to become a Activision podcast instead?
No.
Crickets? No?
Activision? No. I don't know.
Bueller?
Well, yeah. Anyways. Gator, save us.
He said.
Great question. No, that's a great question. At first, I did it because it was something new to do. The Dad's Tales were falling off. They were hanging up their podcasting boots for a little while, and they still come out with an occasional show. And by the way, the skits is an homage to JC Jesse, Boost, KDV, Baroque Reaver, and Stugazzo. They would do the greatest skits, and that's where we get our inspiration from, is when they did it, and we just copied them, to be honest. First it was to do something new, and I had a lot of help from Fluffy Fingers and Admiral Nips with Potato Thumbs podcast, and you guys helped me out too. We were trying to figure out how to edit correctly and put shows together, and now we've gotten so much feedback, and we built up a community now where I feel like I'm letting people down if I don't keep going with it. It's really weird, but when people tell me that, their day's a little brighter because they've listened to our podcast, and that's what we try to do. We try to insert a little comedy in there. Sometimes we fail miserably, but we try to keep everybody entertained and not think about the crap that's going on in the world right now. So, yeah.
I hear you. Those are good reasons to do what we do, and we're having fun doing it, right? We keep it going.
It is so much fun. And just to be able to, people who would never even talk to me in the past, that didn't even know me, that are joining our podcast to tell their stories, I'm blown away. I really am. And that includes everyone, the community, content creators, everyone. It just blows me away that they want to spend their time or their night to talk with us.
It's interesting. A funny point about that. If you want to talk to people, it's not that hard. Just, you don't have to be on some big publication. Just saying this isn't why I did the podcast, but I've learned that just saying you're a podcaster, or even like I've learned tips from people that they get press passes just from like creating, maybe rules are a little stricter now, but remember, like people could like get press passes pretty easily and get into conventions, and they just start a website and start some like little publication that just they run, and they'll get a press pass, and then people will talk to you just because you say, hey, I'm a writer for so-and-so and so-and-so. And they're like, they're not going to care. They just hear, oh, I'm a writer for something. And then they'll talk to you.
Here's the thing, Kingsley, the smartest content creators in the world are the ones who know that any small little show can be big one day. And the fact that they gave their time to that podcast, that creates a loyalty and a camaraderie. So I think the content creators who don't just not ever answer your email, they'll be who they are. But the people who actually, want to spend time with you when you're a small podcast, thinking that maybe down the road this might pay off, even though they're not really, we're probably getting more from them than they are us, is just amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that was a great question. I just kind of wanted to add it in right then because it was topical. But yeah. Well, we don't know anything more about you, Gator. We'll just talk about Destiny now. I do have one other question. And, of course, you can ask us questions at any point. Also, feel free. You are a tier 1 guest. We will let you do that. Backing up a little bit, and I think I remember hearing some of your history with video games, but did you do much with coin-op video gaming? Tell us experiences with that.
Yeah, I was I put it on my Twitter account. I'm actually an Atari 2600 beta tester because that's how far back I go. My dad bought me an Atari 2600 when I was just a little preteen, and that was it, man. I was hooked. And my first video game actually was when I was at a Pizza Hut. My dad was picking up a pizza, and they had this glass top table, with a bunch of lights coming out of it. And I was like, "What the heck is this?" And it was Space Invaders, just the monochrome black and white game. And I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And of course, I was begging my dad for quarters. And anytime my dad wanted to go pick up a pizza, I'm like, "I'll go with you. Hold on, I'm coming." And that was it. I was hooked on video games, and I've taken my I started with ColecoVision. I never did the Sega route. We did the Super NES and the NES, and then went into PlayStation. PlayStation was a game breaker. I mean, it was a great console. Went all the way up through all the PlayStations to today. I now have a PS5, and I did get the Xbox because my son was really into Xbox, and I wanted to game with him. So I did get a 360, and then a One and a One X, and now PC. Now I'm finding out what PC is about, and it is glorious. All about that. So
nice. Yeah, it's fun to, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, coin-op arcades when they're around. I mean, they are still around. You go to places like Dave and Buster's, or there's places you just don't throw the quarters in anymore. You have the little cards that you just,
I'm sure everyone credit card. I'm sure everyone can remember that every movie theater had an arcade next to it back in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. And there was a reason for that, because people had to wait for their movie. And it was so smart of them, because people would jump in there and drop $10 in there. And I actually would bring my paycheck to the arcades back in the late 80s and 90s. And I should say 80s, actually. And I would spend half my paycheck on video
Would
games.
They cash it there?
No, I had to go to the bank, of course. But I'd bring.
I'm thinking like a casino. They're like, yeah, we'll cash.
No, it's not that bad. But I would cash my check. I'd put half in my car, and I'd bring half into the arcade, and I would spend. My God, even my college years before classes, like if I had a class I had to wait 2 hours between, there was always an arcade down the street. I'd go and just hang out and game for a couple hours. It was a lot of fun. Coin-op was big in my history.
Yeah, good times. Well, any other immediate questions for Gator right now, and before we move on to what we've been doing in the game?
Other than soccer, OG asking me why I don't play Trials.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, he dodged out, leaving me, Soccer, and Warcry to grind out for a shotgun.
I don't want a shotgun.
We see how you are. Yeah,
I
sure,
don't use shotguns. I don't.
Yeah,
use
yeah.
shotguns.
Keep it going.
It's not my game type. It's not my game type.
Oh, go ahead.
So, not raiding, not playing Trials with people.
Oh,
I mean, gosh,
Lord.
Gator.
What the hell? Sen, you got to help back me up here, man. Come on. I
don't know, but it sounds like it's time for that speed run.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't know we had a speed run tonight.
I don't know. You have something planned, Sen?
No. I figured since they stole not our for lore segment, we could steal Gator for speedrun segment.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we already kind of played that joke on him the one time, but
you did.
Yeah,
still remember
that was
it.
good.
Yeah. No, Des, I gave you credit because you hung in there with me on the first week, and we got our 3 messengers that weekend. But Trials has issues right now, and I talk about it in our podcast too with Senate Nomad, and it's just got too many problems right now. And the only people playing Trials are very sweaty players, and I just don't care to. My ego's too fragile. I can't go in there and get stomped every game. I just can't do it.
Did I see a tweet from Grenader Jake? Something about, I saw it kind of in passing, something that he tweeted. Basically, disable trials now. And the trial statistics were something like so many flawless teams went flawless with 0 kills.
What?
Is that actually a thing?
This is late breaking news, Sin. Yes, in fact, earlier today at 12:45 my time, probably 2:45 Eastern, due to an issue, Trials of Osiris has been disabled for the remainder of the weekend, and then we have a small update after this. But yes, there was. I don't know if someone else can explain it better, but there is a way where people were getting flawless runs this weekend from doing some swap with other people to get wins.
Wow.
Basically, TLDR.
What?
Said, Trials is broken.
Some
Got an
swap
emblem too or something? I don't know.
Yeah, but that's not a Trials issue. That's a game issue.
I just said that to get a rise out of you, Des. That's all I said that for.
I mean, you can. That's fine. I mean, just because you call yourself a student or too scared to actually learn from sweaty players. I mean, that's... Oh, I think your words have already proven it, sir. So
I'm a Sixes guy. I love playing Iron Banner. That's my game.
Oh, so you're casual. I got you.
Oh, I'm not casual. I'm a student of the game, but I've never since Destiny 1 I've never played Trial. I mean, I played a few times.
He studies stuff, but he doesn't have street smarts.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He's an intellect, but not a practical.
I just do not like elimination games. I don't like that game type. Doesn't fit my style of play. And if I have to play it to get a reward, then I'll get through it somehow. And we did that first week because I wanted that pulse rifle. But there was no other reason for me to run Trials anymore.
This whole Trials thing, I don't know what to think. Since I don't have as much invested in it, I just kind of sometimes sit back and eat the popcorn. I mean, a little later than in the day too, they said Lighthouse has at least been re-enabled for those who have access with the Flawless card. Players may also redeem any earned tokens to Saint 14 through the week or through the weekend, but otherwise it's still disabled, I would assume.
I saw the tweets. I didn't understand why they were stopping Trials. I guess there's some kind of glitch.
Well, yeah, the glitch where so many people are going flawless. And it's interesting where Bungie will draw the line. I don't have anything against them for drawing the line here. I guess it's a glitch in the game, so they need to shut off access so they can fix that. In some aspects, though, like if people were trading wins and because we don't have skill-based matchmaking, could that potentially have made it easier for me to go flawless this weekend, or is it only if you do this trick?
I mean, I don't even know what the trick was, to be honest with you.
I don't either.
Oh, I don't either. Someone posted something in the Discord. You got to blah, 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 do something with an emblem and trade. It's almost like you're trading a vote or something. It's like you set something up with another team and then it lets you go flawless without even getting wins.
Really? That's interesting.
Truth Lives posted under Destiny Help. I think someone else even posted under Destiny Talk also, but I didn't really have desire to look into it more, other than I know it's a little bit of a brouhaha right now.
I kind of wouldn't mind doing that because I've never been flawless. So
I have a few times, but I've had help in Destiny 1 and in Destiny 2.
I've been 0.
It's fairly fun to do, and I mean we can go down a rabbit hole on PvP if you want, but I just don't. I'm not a fan of account recoveries, and like I said, we discussed that in our show, but I don't know how.
Yeah, and I did hear some of that. And everyone, please listen to the latest Guardian Downcast, of course.
Sorry, shameless plug.
No, I do want to talk about a little bit about incentives. I mean, Sin says he wouldn't mind doing this in theory. What is your incentive, Sin? Is just because you kind of want to have that box checked off under your
just to have the experience. I don't need to do it every single week, but to do it at least once to say, yeah, I've done this would be kind of cool.
I mean, you can get the experience other ways. Eventually, get a lottery with a carry streamer or something like that, or
ain't nobody
happen to get a good enough team together or whatever.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference between Iron Banner and Trials, and this is for you, Des. I can spend all weekend grinding Trials, losing and getting my butt kicked, never get to the 3 wins, and have nothing to show for it all weekend. I can play Iron Banner, complete my bounties, get pinnacle weapons, get in-game drops all the time, and I feel like I've accomplished something by the end of the weekend. Trials is too punishing, and no one's going to go into Trials unless there's at least some forgiveness or just a little bit more rewards. I mean, for your time spent.
Okay, but why should there be forgiveness? Why are you comparing this to Iron Banner? Why are you legitimately comparing something Bungie themselves have said is not a game mode for most of our players to something for Iron Banner, which is definitely designed for most of the player base?
Well, Iron Banner is power enabled, so it's not designed for everybody, but it is more of the in-game content for casual players, and Trials is really for the sweats. And I remember in the first iteration of Trials of the 9, I had really enjoyed that game type. I didn't enjoy the team shot meta at the time, especially with Midas, but I love that if you got to 3 wins, you got a certain tier of weapons, you got a certain tier of whatever. If you went flawless, then you got the really good stuff at the end. But I can spend all weekend, even if you get 1 token for a win, by the way. It takes 20 tokens to unlock, an engram to get some kind of reward. And you can't unlock any engrams unless you get 3 wins. Or complete the 3 win bounty. That's the only thing that gets me into Trials is that bounty. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. There's no respect for the player's time in Trials.
So you're a student of the game, but you don't want to spend time learning without a carrot on the stick.
I do want a carrot on the stick. I want time.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm a student of the game.
You want that?
Not that game. I mean, if I'm a student of baseball, and I don't like football, I'm not going to go be a student of football. I know it's a game.
Yeah, but what you're comparing 2 different sports. The actual comparison is you might be a student in minor league, but you can't swing it in majors.
Well, I guess you're calling Iron Banner minor leagues. It's just it's a different kind of play. It's 6s. There's chaos everywhere. 3s are actually easier to play for me because there's not so much chaos. But it's just the game type. I don't like elimination. I don't like that game type.
Okay.
There's another. I mean, we can keep talking about this too. There's another thing that the conversations come up recently, and even more so today too. On here we go again. Should it go back to skill-based matchmaking?
Enable skill-based. Do it.
Do it.
That's one place me and Gator definitely agree on. It's like, bring back skill-based matchmaking, please. For the love of God.
We played a ton of Trials this whole week, our clan and I, and we either get stomped or we stomp, and there's very few games where it's actually fun, where it comes down to the wire. I'd say 1% of the games we played were like 150 to 146. Those are the games I love.
Which, I mean, as far as the card-based matching goes, I kind of don't mind if you're far enough in the card. Back in D1, it had its issues where you might be loading up for your first game, and you just get absolutely stomped, and the message you read at the bottom of the screen is, opposing team is flawless, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
That's the aspect to Trials I don't much enjoy. Is the entire randomness of the card. Like, to me, like I said, Bungie has stated that Trials is for a different breed of PvP player. I mean, they've mentioned this. That's why in D1 they weren't too critical of trials numbers, even though they were, even back in D1, they were steadily in decline. A lot of people don't really bring that up. They mentioned, oh, D2 trials numbers are steadily in decline. They were in decline in D1 too.
Yeah, in there.
But yeah, I mean, just if you're going to have something that's supposed to be, that's supposed to funnel you to higher and higher stakes and like tougher and tougher matches, at least at the start, like, bring in people of your skill to get you. Like, personally, I feel if it had skill-based matchmaking, especially before you hit the 3-win mark, might actually improve the population a lot, because then it wouldn't be so much of a struggle to get to those 3 wins. Now, I also 100% agree that potentially after that 3 win, you kind of unlock the, win by win matchmaking or card status matchmaking. Because, I mean, it just makes sense to me. But yeah, that's my issue with trials.
No, skill based. I mean, I was down with, okay, let's try this all not skill based or whatever the current system is, but I'm not opposed to doing the skill based. And if they can have it at least through 3, so that I'm perfectly happy. I mean, yeah, I'd like to get the lighthouse. We're talking about incentives, but I don't really care too much. But I would be perfectly happy trying week after week how good I can get 3 wins. And if it's always skill based and I'm feeling pretty happy about my experiences, then that would actually get me in more.
Trials is easy to fix. I mean, it's very simple. You need more people on the playlist. You have 30,000 people in the whole game playing trials every weekend. That's not enough. You have to create an incentive for players like me that don't play trials a lot to jump in and try it, or jump in and get a reward that you're looking to get. It could be armor, weapons, whatever. But there has to be an incentive for people to go in there. Otherwise, they're not going to do it. Or someone who's just starting playing trials, they jump in, they get stomped and teabagged and done. Just like that. It's almost like a train hit you, and you're like, what just happened? The game's already over. We lost, 5 rounds to nothing. What the hell just happened? I don't ever want to come back, and this is not fun. I don't want to do this.
Agreed.
I've even gotten past that point where it's like, yeah, it's not necessarily fun, but it's no more or less fun. I know that's a weird way of saying it, but like I've gotten to the point where like there's no less fun I can have. So like, if I get stomped, I'm not like, that's not keeping me from coming back in. If there's a reason, like the messenger was a reason for me to hop in. And yes, it was kind of like, I felt like a slight waste of time or annoying when there was these stomp teams, but it was still worth it for me to truck through it and get the weapon.
Why did you hang with us, Kingsley? What was your incentive for hanging with us after getting stomped over and over again?
Yeah, it was the weapon.
It was the bounty, right? That was the only thing that got people into the game. The only reason I was playing it, because I knew I was going to get
the only thing that got, probably, a majority. I wouldn't go so far to say like that's the only reason for anyone. I think there should always be multiple reasons. I say this with raiding all the time. I mean, yes, you got to have good weapons, but yes, there should be other reasons why people like to do things too. Even the silly reason of just the experience with friends. But for me, the main reason, yes, was the weapon that week anyways.
At the end of the day, it's a game. You're meant to have fun. If you're not having fun, don't play it. Move on to something else. Play Iron Banner. That's what I did.
I don't have fun there.
I mean,
I love Iron Banner. I've always loved Iron Banner.
I will say though, to kind of counter the point just a little, I know of at least one case back in D1 of a 0.3 KD Crucible average just utterly not having fun, getting stomped consistently, but yet here I am still playing trials. If ever I can hop on when people are interested. But the question
do you
is why?
Stay? Why do you stay?
Yeah, why?
Because I learn.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's your
legitimately.
incentive. Yeah.
Yeah, I learn people. I learn motives. I learn that entire night, like hanging with you, trying for the bounty. I was learning new and better ways to use stasis when people were using it. Like people chilling around a corner, getting a peek at you every now and again, pulled them out with a dusk nade. It's freaking glorious. Like the counterplays that can be done, like watching how people move, because Trials, legitimately, Trials is one of the best ways to learn a map. Because most of your sweaty players that play these maps will use the most effective lanes. And will teach you ways to move across those lanes you wouldn't even have seen before.
Oh, I agree.
That's why I play.
When I was running with you guys, and I don't know maps very well in Crucible, and Gator is saying things like, "Oh, they're coming left or middle or right." I mean, most of the time it's pretty obvious. I know what people mean by that, but sometimes it's still, I'm like, I'm not quite sure what you guys mean. I'm just going to roll with it, and hope I'm in the right place, or see the, But you're right. I mean, that's something that I could see myself having fun in. Doing more private just matches with people, and so I can learn the map, and not trying to do like sweats or whatever with friends necessarily, although I wouldn't be opposed to that either, but just even just dinking around and maybe just having like super low stress, like, oh, we're doing silly weapons or whatever, or oh, you can't kill anyone for at least a minute, just reasons so that I could learn. And then, yes, I can just go in and play the game, even Rumble or whatever, but I like the idea of just being in with friends.
And that lessens the blow. The fact you're BSing with friends, you're having a good time, and that's the one time I really look forward to playing Crucible. It doesn't even have to be Iron Banner, but if I know the guys are getting together one night to play Crucible at night just to get their pinnacle drops, I don't care about win-loss. I really don't. I'm just having fun. And there's a time to sweat and there's a time not to, but those are the times when I really just have fun. We're old guys. We all knock on each other, and that's just what we do. But Trials is a different animal. You got to be super focused, hyper attendant. And I agree. I do like that they run the same map. That way you learn where everyone's using the spot. You learn where everyone's pushing. You learn what they're using. You learn what guns are working at certain ranges. It's a lot to learn. But you can know everything about how to play the game and just not have the reflexes and just get stomped. That's the part I don't like.
That's where the mind game comes in, though.
That'll take you so far, but if you have 3 really aggressive players that are sailing Titans with shotguns and they all jump on you one by one, I don't know. Practice, yes. I think in time you could become a really good Trials team if you played with the same 3 guys. I mean, the same 2 other guys other than yourself. And I think in time you would learn how to get better at it. And in that respect, yes, I do like that you can learn it that way. But when the population is so thin that you're getting sweats every game, you're getting the sweaty players every game. When you're getting your butt kicked, it's really hard to learn sometimes. I learn the most when the games are very close. That's when you really learn what puts you over the top and where to improve. And I'll record my gameplay and I'll watch it back and I'll see, we were down 5 and I should have gone this way and done this instead of doing this. And that's where I really love learning about Crucible. But
the way I've always said it is not that you can't learn both ways, but I think certain personality types gravitate, they enjoy learning one way versus another way more.
Yeah,
and so
and everybody's different.
That.
Yeah, everybody's different. Some people love Trials. They love that adrenaline pump. Some people, not so much. There's another kind of game they like. But there's nothing like shooting someone who actually has a brain on the other side that thinks also and tries to counter what you're doing. That's the ultimate game.
Not for me.
Okay.
Sorry, Gary. Anyways, no, this is a great discussion. I didn't actually think we'd be going down this as much, but this is pretty cool.
You guys are gonna approach our show length. I'm liking this. All right.
Well, let's talk about some things we've been doing this week in the game. We know Gator hasn't raided, so let's move on from that.
He also hasn't played Trials.
No,
okay.
I haven't. Not this week.
We'll move on from that. I know a lot of people were hopping in Presage this week, right? Didn't you get some accomplishments in there, Des?
Yes! Oh my god, my entire week has been dedicated to one gun. Like, legitimately. I'm not even afraid to say that. Even with it being Iron Banner, legitimately, my week has been devoted to learning Dead Man's Tale. Because yes, first night, Mikado Kingsley, attempted presage, which as Osiris graciously tells us is presage. Also is a word that is basically a word, what was it? It's basically omen. It's like something usually bad is about to come. So that's not cool. But anyway, so our first run, we got like to the boss room. Had like 30 seconds left on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a no-go.
And then did I bounce then, or did we try it a second time before I bounced?
No, yeah, you bounced then. And next night, Mikado and Lumina had a second run where we got the boss to his like last third of a bar before we got kicked out. And then we immediately bounced, like we made some adjustments, immediately bounced right back in and finished it off with like a minute and a half to spare. It was one of the most satisfying things I've done in Destiny in a very long time. And it felt just incredible.
Now, I do want to ask you tips on like loadouts and how to get the ads down quickly, regardless of the jumping puzzles, like kind of one aspect that people need to get good at. And then, of course, the ad killing is another aspect. But let's maybe focus on, because the jumping you just practice or whatever, which I've had some issues with. But
yeah, and that's another thing, though. Presage is set up in a way to where only one person needs to be good at the jumping puzzles and at the platforming.
That's true. I need to
because there are shortcut systems.
Where people can let me in the shortcut, because sometimes I get frustrated. And I know Gator, I'll ask you about this too. Like timed missions for me don't really get me as excited. Even when I even trying to look back, to be fair, the first time I passed Whisper, yes, it was nice to get the gun and to pass it. But at the same time, really looking back, I'm like, time missions don't have an incentive for me to be like super excited for passing, because it adds an extra stress upon me as my reflexes have gotten a little bit slow over the years and whatnot. But you can still get that down from lots and lots of practice. But I'm curious, Des, and then I'll ask Gator his opinion, because I think you got it too, right, Gator?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. What kind of loadouts would you recommend, or ways to take down the ads quickly? What did you learn from finally getting it done?
Basically, I mean, essentially, I think our successful run, we ended up having 2 different anarchies and a wither horde. So, your classic, methods of like ad clear and such is going to work great. What we made sure is that I think 2 of us were, because Lumina, of course, was on his warlock and running well, obviously.
Obviously.
Obviously. I think Kato, for our successful run, ended up switching to a golden gun hunter. And I was running stasis for like ad control and ad clear potential, as well as Mask of Bacchus shenanigans with anarchy. But basically try and have like we basically, I think, ended up kind of focusing on having energy weapons, like primary energy weapons, to try and at least break shields and like kinetic secondaries for just like once the shield goes down, just put your damage in.
The solars were kind of knowing at the end, the few times that I've run it with people, so that's got to be an important aspect, of course.
Yeah, which, I mean, having at least like the one person with solar and running at least 2 people with solar subclasses is kind of, I mean, that can cover it really well. Like, because the only thing, I mean, yes, it's primarily solar up top at the end and like arc down below, but it's only like 3 enemies, so it's not too harshly to juggle between everything. I mean, it's not too punishing, basically. But yeah, so I mean, we each had like an element. I think I was running Void, and someone else was Solar, and another Arc, I believe. But yeah, we each had a weapon to primarily deal with shields, as well as like I said, using our subclasses and abilities to help with general ad clear. And I mean, it basically just boils down to kind of it's probably, I mean, for those that don't have it yet, it can be something that boils down to things that really help are like knowing spawn locations, knowing as every like raid general rule of thumb and everything, kill the snipers first, or else they will ruin your entire life.
And know where the exploder guys are spawning in, so you can avoid them.
Exactly. One good tip I have is at least for the hangar, if you chill out, because you have that raised section that's almost like a bridge over everything else, but it leads into like this intersection of like corridors and such. That intersection is a really decent place to like chill out for at least two people, as long as you're paying attention when screeps start spawning in, because they will sneak up on you and ruin everything if you let them. But I mean, yeah, it's nothing too difficult, but I mean, yeah, it's freaking glorious whenever you can actually pull it off, though.
Yeah, I want to hear about your experience, Gator, and then maybe we can talk about the guns some more.
Wow, what a beautiful story Bungie put together there. I love that mission. And if
so good.
I was with a couple of clanmates, Zen and Anubis, in our Guardian Downcast clan, and we did our first attempt and we ran out of time. We got to the end of the boss, but I think we're a minute over or something, so we had to start over. The second time around, yeah, like Des said, you have a lot of void shielded chieftains in the middle, and then you got, of course, everything in the hangar. But I also brought in I think I brought in I would bring in an extraordinary rendition with the new frenzy perk on it. I'd have a trustee because we needed solar at the end for the chieftains up top at the final boss, and then I would bring in also an anarchy, which, by the way, couple 3 pumps in the chest with the anarchy on the boss, and then you just float back up or deal with other ads. It was really nice. Good damage to do on that guy. Not a fan of the anarchy, to be honest, but it really worked the best. And then I also had a well of radiance to protect everybody at the 0 hour if we had to, especially when it got kind of frenzied at the end. And I think someone ran Titan Bubble, and the other one ran, I want to say Golden Gun. I can't remember what Zen was running. But yeah, second time through, we had about a minute to spare and got the catalyst, and then we went to the Thrallway on Shattered Throne, and 20 minutes I had the catalyst done.
So, yeah, you guys have it. Remind me what the Masterwork version of it adds to the gun.
Yeah, go ahead, Des.
Maximum yeehaw potential. Yes. It is glorious.
I'm curious what drop you got, Des.
Mine, 4th time. At least for the main perk. I don't pay attention to everything else, though.
4 times the charm? Gotcha.
Yeah. It at all, and for PvE, let me tell you what, 4th time is amazing. But basically, the Masterwork essentially means you don't ever have to aim the gun ever again. Ever.
He's right.
Yeah, at base, Deadbands is a 120 RPM, which is weird because high impact scout rifles are 150. So it shoots actually more like a high impact hand cannon than a scout rifle, because those are also 120s. But with the Masterwork, or with the Catalyst, I think people are saying it fires at roughly 180 RPM. So that puts it in line with things, not like Trustee, because Trustee is about 200 RPM.
That's a 200, yeah.
I think it's Royal Chase was a 180 from the Wrath Hunts.
Yeah,
I'm wanting to say. But either way, it makes it not significantly faster, but drastically faster. And it gets rid of literally all hip fire penalties. This thing will fire straight and true, no matter how fast or whatever. The only time it's going to be inaccurate is if you are in the air.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'll get it eventually.
no, that's all right. I'll keep going. Yeah, mine has 100 recoil direction on mine. It's
That's base.
pretty glorious. I have a couple that have 89, but I mean when Des says it has pure hip fire, it has pure hip fire. And I was watching a video from Cool Guy today. He was telling me the best way to use it in Crucible is to aim down the sight, get the first initial shot, and then finish him off with the hip fire. That's what he was working for him. I'm telling you, the ranges he was shooting from the hip is amazing.
Oh no, it's stupid. As long as you could put the cursor over a target, you have a good chance of hitting the head.
Yeah, and it turns red, right, Des? It turns red when you're over him? Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, immediately when you have someone in your firing range. It's, oh my god, it's so fun. And like I said, I've spent this entire week of Iron Banner, finished the quest on all my characters, finished all the weeklies on all my characters. And unless something told me to use a different gun, I was using Deadman's the entire time.
Well, isn't it up there in the meta? I think I saw some people running some in the member stats channel or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it up there in the list.
I mean, yeah, you got to think, this is essentially a high-impact scout rifle that fires from the hip faster than a high-impact scout rifle, but maintains every last bit of its high-impact damage.
And when you're done firing, it goes right back to the original spot. There's no lift. Mm-hmm. There's no lift when you fire it fast. Mm-hmm. It literally goes right back to your target. No bloom. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's glorious. It's fun as crap, and like I said, even firing from the hip, it is the same 2 head and 1 body optimal TTK. It is.
Have you ever experienced a weapon like this, Des? I haven't.
The only thing legitimately that comes close, I mean, is of course Last Word, but Last Word's actually a little, because I personally find the way a lot of Crucible maps are kind of designed, especially with certain with the way their ground is, you have like some debris you might fall off of, that will entirely ruin your accuracy because you're technically in the air. So there's some ways to learn, but of course Last Word has its own strengths because of course it's a hand cannon. Hand cannons have more accuracy in there anyway. Last Word actually has hip fire grip, which makes it a little more suited for that. But I do find Deadman's it's still not, I mean, being a scout rifle is still not super great in the up close, and like I said, it's better for sure, but yeah, it's still got a funky spot because at super long ranges, if you're not certain where your hip fire hitting, you can still aim down sights, and it's still an incredible gun to use because again, it's basically a high impact scout rifle at that point in time, so it has like that same time to kill. So it's a little ridiculous in that, but you also have the hip fire capability, firing way faster. It's, oh god, it's just so fun. And it's great, like, to challenge people. Like, you have like 3 people firing at you, and you're like peeking in and out of cover. And it's like, with the way Cranial Spike amps up the damage, it's like just tap, 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 first one's dead, tap, tap, second one's dead, tap, tap, third person's dead. Oh my god, when things work out, it is absolutely glorious.
Can I mention one other weapon I was using? Have you guys tried Tiku's Divination with the Catalyst in Crucible?
I don't have the Catalyst yet, but I do like that weapon.
Oh my god, it was so much fun.
I mean, I have the Catalyst, but I don't have it finished.
Friday night? Yeah, when I was at the Thrall Hall in the Shattered Zone, I just got all my Catalyst done. I spent a couple hours in there. And oh my god, get the Catalyst. It is so, that bow is so much fun in Crucible. It's just,
I've been appreciating that bow. Has gotten me to appreciate bows more. And yes, I know there's the other exotic bow that everyone's been mentioning for a while, and some people like even the legendary bows and they use them a lot, but it's kind of been working for me as I've, for whatever reason, focused on that one. And I ran my Iron Banner weekly challenge this week, just kind of playing solo earlier today. And I was doing okay with the messenger that I got. So, of course, it's easier to use a weapon like messenger in sixes, but it was working for me.
Yeah, messenger is a pretty good gun for that.
What have you been doing in the game, Sin? Besides Iron Banner, anything interesting this week?
No, end of month has been putting me at a lack of time. But I've been running. I ran a couple of these. I always forget their names. The proving grounds. Ran a few of those. I've been working on a couple of these quests. I am nowhere near complete the 10 weekly quests, unfortunately. But I've been working on them gradually. I'm about halfway through. And some Iron Banner.
Battlegrounds, right? That's what you mean? Yeah.
Proving grounds, battlegrounds, whatever. Same difference. Potato. It's like the same
Well, you were
thing,
asked
but
what
different.
they called, so I just told you.
Yeah.
You've done the new one. I like that new one on Nessus. It ends down, that Cade area, and we have the Scion. I remember I was talking to Des about it. I had already run it, but then he was running it. I was just in a party, and it was like, yeah, kind of elements of Sundial, right? With the arc that comes down.
Yeah.
100%.
But other than that, I'm in probably the same boat everybody is with the Tiku's Catalyst. I just need to get the kills for it, and then I'll have it done. I probably should do the Thrall Wave for it. I have not run the Master Presage, so I am clueless to what you all are talking about. I guess it's timed, and I guess that gives you the catalyst.
Yes,
and I guess the catalyst is awesome.
Yes.
So one day I'll get that done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about my week. Oh well, we did run a raid.
Oh yes. For
after Hazel's birthday, we did RNG Gator's son. Pause. We did a raid for RNG Gator's son on Saturday night after
on Xbox.
Hazel's birthday shenanigans, and it was on Xbox, and we got it done in a reasonable amount of time, I think. So that was kind of fun. First time, one of the very few times I've jumped on Xbox.
Yeah, for me too. I'm not used to that controller as much because I'm used to the Astro where I have the button in the back for running, and so on my Xbox I'm having to click down again. So my thumb was getting a little tired by the end of the night, just because probably I, again, not used to having to push that down.
Right.
I'm not trying to complain here. It's just something I wasn't used to. But yeah, it was fun running on Xbox with RNG Gator and his son and someone else that he brought in. Of course, Gator wouldn't want to join us because his Xbox has too much dust on it.
What's an
right?
Xbox? Yeah, what's an Xbox?
Well, you have one, right? You just don't want to use it?
It's somewhere in my closet. I got to dig it out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Maybe you don't have it then if you don't know where it is.
Can I mention something?
Yeah.
Kingsley, you mentioned the time. You mentioned that the Presage, the master one, was timed. Bungie, quit putting timers on stuff. It's hard enough because the enemies are so tough.
No.
I know.
Bungie,
I know.
Don't listen to these people. No.
I know. I know, Des. We've had an argument over this. I used to run Nightfalls in Destiny 1 by myself, and it was so much pride that I got through all the Nightfall because I had all the time in the world to figure out how to get through each phase of the fight. You don't have time to do that in a timed event. It just, I don't know. For me, I just don't enjoy it as much. And if I ever want to solo that Master Presage, good luck in that hangar trying to get rid of all those enemies in time.
Yeah, that would make it a little bit tough.
That's my 2 cents. Sorry.
Yeah, time defense are good, and I think moderation. I haven't jumped in it, so I don't know about this particular one. 0 Hour and Whisper, both were timed, and I think when they first came out, I think the timing probably did suck a little bit. But as they got a little bit easier, I think the time probably didn't matter as much once you learn the way. Yeah. I think you're on the cusp there. This is a new mission. It's probably a lot of people just don't know it as well. And it is a little bit tough where we're at power level. But as the weeks go on, I think the timing probably won't matter, and it'll be just as easy as those.
Oh, that's
Ben,
true.
yeah,
The way I
tell
look
me-
at it. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Gator.
I'm sorry, Sin. Just tell me when you run through that master passage when you're in the hangar, then come back to me.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to suck. I'm sure it's going to be like
But-
my first time in Whisper, and I'm like,
There's like 3 waves.
I have nowhere to go.
It's crazy, man.
He-
Sorry,
Here's what
Keith.
I'm saying. Yeah, there should be some timed events in the game, but I don't enjoy them as much. And the problem is that yes, it'll eventually get easier. We'll be in a situation where this was always a situation we were in when we were bringing people through 0 hour or Whisper, like especially if 2 people know it and 1 don't. We're just going to run to the end so we can get it done. But then that's not great either, because then the third person doesn't really get to experience the whole thing. So yeah, they do need to keep going back in to practice it again and again so they can eventually get the full experience. But often people won't, because then they just have the weapon. So I don't know. I'm just saying timed events don't do as much for me, but I get why they have them.
Indeed.
Now, I will say, I mean, simply if this was just another normal mission, it would not have felt near as good to finish it out. It would have just been
Yeah.
business as usual,
Mhm.
just like any Nightfall that you finish.
Well,
mean,
if it wasn't timed, hopefully they would at least have a harder version like the Hawk Moon quests. But do you prefer if things were equal? I mean, 2 different choices, timed a little bit harder or not timed a lot harder?
well, like I said, as long as I think they did great with Presage and the fact that on normal, it's the mission. You can learn it without a time limit. And I think that's one thing that was kind of missing from things like 0 Hour and Whisper.
True.
Was the fact
they
that
should have had a normal. Yeah.
Good point.
yeah,
good point.
there was no way to like really practice until you got better. Which I mean, it's basically like it's speedrunning 101. You have to get better at segments to progress further, to get better, to learn more. So, but like I said, this one reason I really do like Presses is the fact on normal, there's no timer. You can screw up a couple times. You could die a few times. It's not going to matter that much. But like I said, it creates a nice a learning environment for that mission, to where now, yeah, you can just take on the timer and see how good you really are.
Yeah.
Yes. What if they did like Hawkmoon? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Hawkmoon they give you so many revives if you do it solo, right? And every time you destroy
I don't
a
know.
boss, you get a revive back. I think a self revive.
I don't know.
I
Whatever.
don't think so.
Are you
They
sure
did that for Hawkmoon?
I thought they did that for the
That's
Hawkmoon.
That's the solo Lost Sectors. Maybe you're getting confused.
Yeah,
with.
those are Master
You're
Law
right.
sectors.
What? Yeah, you're right. You're right. What if they could do that for this story? Instead of the timer, you just get so many times you can die, and when you die, you go back to orbit. Unless you kill a major
See,
boss.
that
in a
appeals to
major
me.
section. That's more up my alley.
Okay, but what's the difference?
Well, there's a finality. If you die over and over again, then you got to go. Yeah, I agree. The normal, it's nice. You can go in and practice, and that's where you can go in and get your scannables, your 5 scannables you're supposed to get, that kind of stuff. I just enjoyed. I enjoy soloing stuff, but when you put it when Destiny started putting timers on all their Nightfalls, I didn't solo anything in Destiny 2 from then on, because it was just too stressful. And it was unless I run strikes and Nightfalls all the time and I know it backwards and forwards on what barrier champion's going to come at me when, it just was just frustrating. And you would spend 2 hours trying to solo a master Nightfall solo, and then it all be for naught because you just couldn't get through a final part because you ran out of time.
Well, Gator, good news. And maybe you got a little confused on the triumphs, but there is no triumph for solo without dying.
There isn't?
I mean,
Okay.
sorry, prestige.
Yeah,
master
you can
difficulty.
you can do a regular one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So there's a triumph for solo without dying, and then there's a triumph for master difficulty without dying, but you don't have to do it solo. That's all
Oh,
I'm saying. You don't have to do the
that's
master
awesome.
one solo. You just
That's awesome.
if the other people die in your team, you're still okay as long as you don't die.
Oh, that's great.
And how do you
Love
get
it.
past that trash compactor thing? because we've always had trouble getting past it.
You haven't run it that much then, Sin. It's actually pretty easy to do now. And there's even a
Yeah.
cheat, which I hesitate to mention, but it's pretty easy now. If you just have people split up and one person shoot the right ones, one person shoot the left ones, and someone in the middle, you'll get it pretty easily.
I mean, that, and you can see the reactors through the grating, so you don't actually have to waste time like shooting gratings off. Warlocks are really good at it. Just have them like float up, look down, scan around, see where they can find. Basically, like one strategy that works pretty well is you have two people try and handle, like especially on Master, like have two people try and handle the screeds that are coming out. You just have one person hunting down these cores, because like I said, as long as you know you can see them through the fence, you know roughly, you keep yourself aerial, that A, not only to dodge the screeds, but B, to look down to see you get a wider view at the area so you can see more grates at the same time. That becomes such a huge boon for the compactor.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely be hopping in that some more, I'm sure. Maybe people already have it done to help out us plebs. So we'll get that done. We better move on to one of our big topics this evening, because we have some awesome news that came out this week. I know you already talked about it some, Gator, but we're curious to hear your opinions. We'll have Des kind of like lead the conversation on the article that Destiny posted, 2021 update, The Road to the Witch Queen. But it's way more than just that. I mean, just TLDR. They talk about a lot of stuff coming before Witch Queen, right?
Indeed, they talk about quite a bit in this whole thing. I will, of course, pass over the very quick couple of things in the TWAB, because like I said, the TWAB was fairly light. Like, kind of news-wise, other than, yes, go read the state of play. There is going to be a raid-along.
Oh, I'm excited.
March 3rd. So for Deep Stones, that's going to be fun. They address the ritual playlist weapons, so like the bottom dollar, third axiom, these weapons that you get that drop from playlists specifically. Which they do mention that they will be increasing the drop rates slightly closer to the end of this season, because they weren't made to be quick dropping things and quick get things. They're made to be rewards for people that basically live in specific playlists.
Plus, again, things aren't going away, so we can still grind for them next season too, right?
Yeah. Also, and they are back working on the DDoS protection for consoles. They did kind of have to pull resources away from that to work on other things, but now they are back full force working on that. So yeah.
Nice.
So that's the 12.
Yeah. I know. That one was like, it was nice that they even came out with the TWAB, right? After this huge thing.
Yeah. At first, when I clicked on it, I thought it was the TWAB. But then I realized, hey, it's a little too early still. So yes, the State of Destiny 2021, as they say, the road to the Witch Queen, which apparently is kind of big news. First point they go over is, of course, Witch Queen, Lightfall, and beyond. They are basically saying, what is it, early 2022, I believe? They are pushing back Witch Queen's release.
Yeah.
I think they say Q1 2022, essentially.
Yeah, pushing back. I mean, all we could have assumed before was maybe November before, but now they're telling us for sure early 2022.
Kind of is a little, bums you out a little bit.
Yeah,
for the fact that we were late
still.
this year, and we already knew this was coming, but we're going to be late again next year.
But say now you have more time to get everything done.
Well, not really.
I mean,
not really. But the yearly stuff that only lasts for like a year. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean the yearly stuff, I get that, but I don't know.
Well, what do you think, Gator? I mean, I get. I'm just saying I get it, but of course, yeah, it's you always want to see stuff sooner. But like, where's the fine line of, I'm sure they're making a pretty good decision pushing it back. Will it even be ready then?
Like I said the other day, Bungie, you take your time. When it's ready, it's ready. Now, my question is to you guys. What do you think they're going to do with the final 2 seasons, 14 and 15? You think they'll stretch them out evenly, or do you think we're going to have a giant 15 season?
To be honest, I wouldn't be opposed to actually them adding a season this year.
Oh,
Adding a second, another one.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
a 16th
season 16.
season. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
possible.
if there's a big enough,
November, December. Yeah.
Well,
right?
they're delaying it 3 months, right? Is it 3
yeah,
or 4 months?
that is
Let's just count
roughly.
on that.
That's
yeah.
a whole season. That's a whole season.
Yeah. I mean,
I hope
that
so.
would be. I mean, but then again, I mean, that's still dev time. That's still things to come up with. But I mean, a season in and of itself. I mean, but who knows? I mean, like I said, maybe they'll take like a Witch Queen season, and they're already like transposing it. So maybe I don't know. But I'm just saying, like that would seem to be the easiest route to take, and potentially the less damaging route to take. Well, it's definitely not the easiest route to take, because the easiest route to take is to give us Arrivals all over again.
Yeah, Des, I can't take a season of Arrivals again. That was
It
brutal.
felt so long.
That tested my loyalty to Bungie.
It felt so long.
Yeah, and even if
God.
season quote 16 doesn't have much in it, even if it just has again another season pass bar, right? That'll get everyone at least a little bit excited to get up to 100, something to do.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and that, and like I said, potentially it's within enough time that a 5th season for Beyond Light isn't out of the question. I mean, that's kind of my best case scenario, is extra season. But who
I was
knows?
just curious.
I
I was
just-
just curious.
Yeah, I just really hope we don't get 2 inflated seasons back to back.
right.
Like, my God.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
too
I hope
much.
we don't do that. If anything, just have 14 the normal and 15 longer, because of something we'll mention later in this news article. We want 15 to come as soon as possible.
All right, so, and also, one thing that this article kind of does, or that Bungie in and of itself is kind of trying to subtext us into, is the fact that there's still going to be things beyond Lightfall. But interestingly enough, they do talk about Lightfall, or they talk about Witch Queen specifically, leading to the conclusion of the Light and Darkness saga.
Which
Which
interesting.
has, yeah, and they go on to specifically say that's the story, or the overarching story, that's been in Destiny since inception. The lightness or the light versus the dark. So what that could mean, I have no clue, but like I said, I did find that interesting, and the fact that they are apparently planning stories beyond Lightfall, just potentially not, like, what?
Yeah. Well, we were hinting to this the previous week where they said continue development into Destiny 2.
Yeah.
So we were saying there probably would be something after Lightfall. Now they're kind of confirming that. We
Yeah,
don't
I
know when
mean,
or how long, but yeah.
but yeah, they're building up Witch Queen to basically be the lead up to Lightfall. So Lightfall is going to be apparently something massive. Oh, and they'll apparently be starting to share Witch Queen stuff late summer this year. Yay! 6 months of hype.
I know, right?
Which
Is that a problem?
Bungie knows how to conduct a hype train. They do. You cannot tell me otherwise. Cannot change my mind on that. The only thing I hate is having 6 months of rising hype that I'm just sitting over here trying to basically stay level-headed and keep expectations lowered so that way I'm not at any point disappointed.
Well, as long as you have Bonera, you can keep that risen hype 6 months.
Yeah, I forgot to mention we have our first sponsor this week, Gator.
Jesse behind this? He got a sponsor, huh? Okay.
Oh, that's too good. I know what you're saying, Des. Right. Boy, I mean, once those trailers come out, we're going to be hyped for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, they know how to work us. They know what to say. It's just a tough time trying to stay like realist, and like I said, keeping expectations like reined in. But it's so hard when Bungie starts that hype train, man.
It sounds like
so
a
I think
good
that's
time to me.
I know, right? But I think that's about most of the important stuff. Of course, I mean, it's they are delaying because they do mention that like they kind of anchored big releases around like Destiny's launch, basically. So I know this thing mentions they thought it was significant, but now apparently they don't think it's quite as significant, so they're not afraid to push back if needed. But apparently right now they do see that the Witch Queen will need to be pushed back. So that's their reasoning behind Q1 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And then as this one it states rewards that matter because yay.
Uh-oh.
I definitely have opinions about this. I do not have many kind words about specific individuals. Present company not included. Let me just get that out of the way.
I love you too, Des.
But yes, thanks to certain individuals that are very vocal in the community, we cannot go a full year with sunsetting to see how it's going to work out. Because sunsetting is over.
Yeah, I don't really
There
get
will be
why they're pulling out that quickly. It
Right,
doesn't seem like they really need to.
They didn't give it a fair chance.
Not at
There
all.
are plenty of weapons to be had during the season. I don't think it was necessary for them to do that. Yes, it may not have been necessary for people who play it a crap load of hours every single day. But even so, there's still plenty of weapons for those who play it every single day that you don't need to pull out of the sunsetting. What's really irritating is it sounded like, and this is a TLDR for me, when I asked the other day, because I didn't read the whole article, so I'm not fairly vast on how, or like brought up to speed on how this is going to work. But it sounded like even if I decided to buy, let's say, one of the old reward weapons from the exotic kiosk, let's say Mountaintop and Luna's Howl, that I couldn't bring them up. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
No. Yeah.
They stay sunset.
Yeah, because what they're doing is they're not adding any more infusion caps.
The way we explained it was 1310. If it's 1310 or higher, you're good.
Yeah, but basically, yeah. If it has not reached its infusion cap this season, it's not going to reach an infusion cap. So basically, this season, everything relevant this season will stay relevant beyond.
Okay,
everything.
Got
it. But yes, then you can't buy those. Those ones are still staying sunset. I mean, yeah, I would love to bring back out loaded questions, and I'm sure some people want Recluse and
you see, here's also like my primary issue, like with the entire thing, right? Because some sunsetting obviously had a goal to it, right? It wasn't just like to limit us. It wasn't just to,
be mean.
Keep things fresh or whatever. It sounds like they were literally doing it to get rid of lingering and existing issue weapons. aka our old pinnacles. Things like Loaded Question, things like Mountaintop, things like, one thing they mentioned, Fell Winters. Sunsetting seemed to be introduced to keep those weapons in check. It seems like they introduced sunsetting to bring out these strong weapons, but give them a time period before they're just not able to be used in in-game content anymore. Is kind of what this article is kind of saying to me. Because, and the reason it bugs me that they're doing this is because this decreases our chance to get those big, strong, legendary weapons. Because they're not going to be able to easily.
Oh no, so excited. You cut out.
They're not
I know,
going
right?
to. You said they're not
Oh,
going
there you go.
to.
You're back. Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Like I said, it hopefully I'm not repeating myself too much, but yeah. It's yeah, I'm getting a little too animated in my talk, which those that may know, I do. I speak with my hands a lot,
Gotcha.
which makes things dangerous when handling technology.
All right, Gator, I know you have a different opinion. I'm curious, what would your answer be for like if we had never had sunsetting? How do you get around power creep? Because I know you guys have said like we'll bring out other weapons that have other perks that are better, but wouldn't you eventually get power creep with that?
Well, I always said in the past the best way to sunset weapons, and let me make it clear. When they first said they were sunsetting, I was like, at first I was shocked, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that because there's weapons right now I can get out of collections that aren't going to go any higher anyway, but I can still use them in regular PvP and stuff. But it seemed like the sunsetting, where I had the problem with sunsetting, and where me and Des differ in opinion here, is armor. Why did they need to sunset armor? There's no power creep in armor.
Oh, actually, I'm pretty okay with kind of agreeing with you there too. I wasn't mad about it, pissed about it, but it did seem a little less like a little more like, well, yeah, why are they doing that?
Well, and now this is what I was going to mention to you, Des, and we had our conversation offline. Is how much time it takes to make your builds, and there's so many different modifications, and not to mention the materials you have to use to masterwork your armor. It takes a lot of dedication and time, and a lot of time to configure everything. Now that the fact that was being sunset, that's what I was against. Because
but you still have a whole year once you get a new set.
You get that perfect roll of you get that 27 intellect stat on one of your pieces of armor. You're like, oh, that's a keeper. And then you build off your 100 intellect like that. But if that armor goes away at the beginning of Witch Queen, and I got to start all over again, it just kind of takes the winds out of your sails. And
so you're talking to an old school MMO player about time investment and equipment that becomes obsolete?
I know where you're coming from, Des. I'm a Destiny player. I don't play a lot of MMOs. I understand, and this is not new to Destiny. When Rise of Iron switched
even
over,
Taken King year 1 to year 2.
Yeah. You had to start all over.
Relevant, yeah.
Yeah, you had to start
that's the thing, because Rise of Iron. That was one thing that surprised me about Rise of Iron, because you didn't need to start over at all. There was no infusion break. There was nothing.
Yeah, I felt like it was more Taken King where you had to get new weapons, right?
Remember, they changed it to a light level then, not a level. Remember Forever 29? That's when they made the switch to Taken King, where it was all based on light power.
Yeah.
That's
but
when the game really got interested.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I've been in the mind of things being. Yes, things take time investment, but also the fact that it's so hard to get good rolled armor isn't a testament of shouldn't be a reason of not sunsetting. Should be a reason to bring in methodologies and ways to get better rolled armor a little easier.
Which they have been slowly doing, right? With the dungeons and everything.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I feel like they were on the cusp of introducing us ways of getting. I mean, because I've rarely gotten armor out of Shattered Throne. What's the other one? Pit of Heresy.
And
I've ran them
the new one.
3 times. Oh yeah, the other one, but that seems to have better armor rolls anyway. But up until this week, I've ran them 3 times a week, and I've rarely seen armor roll under 60. Couple 59s, maybe a 58, but it's rarely been under 60. And their stat spreads have usually been pretty ideal, from what I gather.
Yeah, the new what's the new one again? I was getting 70s in there pretty commonly.
The Prophecy?
Prophecy, yeah.
There we go. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like they were on the cusp. And they backed out, because the reason they're saying is, of course, they didn't want their weapons to feel like there's an expiration date on the reward. Which, I'm sorry, but earlier they mentioned that they wanted Destiny to feel like this action shooter MMO hybrid. But you can't have that MMO feel without putting expiration dates on things, without giving things an end.
Yeah,
to make way for something new.
Maybe this may sound silly, but I feel like Luke Smith wanted to do this, and maybe now that he's moving on, the team's like, oh, we don't have to do it anymore.
Oh, I'm 100% convinced Luke Smith wanted to do this, because there was a few. Well,
he still
here's
has a
the
restraining
thing.
order on me. I can't go near his house anymore.
But here's the thing. A couple of years ago, he made a tweet about white whales, which those in MMOs will know what the terminology white whale will refer to. And that's basically like a big, I mean, it refers back, of course, to Moby Dick and the white whale, but it refers to this big, huge drop you've been hunting for, you've spent time on. Maybe you've spent 6 months at a 2% drop rate and an enemy that spawns once every 18 hours. No joke. And just not been able to get this one thing you needed. That's your white whale. It's something you miss out on. Luke Smith was an avid believer of the white whale in a looter experience, because it created fond memories for him. It created fond moments. It created bonding moments. Think back to the great Omnigul farm, right? For the grasp of Malak. I mean, I keep using that as a reference for like white whales and grinding and stuff, because that's what started my first podcast.
Or 30
was
vaults
that.
Or 30 vaults of glass until you get your Vex Mythic glass.
Yeah.
That's
but
it.
I mean,
people are getting like
that's it.
70 before eyes.
Yeah, people had. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I mean, it's. And that's the thing. My white whale of D1 was the Crux of Crota. Never got one to drop. Ever.
Never got it either.
Yeah, never had an original Necrochasm. I was able to use Necrochasm when they reintroduced it, because it didn't need a Crux. Thank God. Hey, but I had an Eidolon's Ally in my vault. Ever since like the second week of the Crota DLC dropping, because I went ahead and got the Husk of the Pit and upgraded an Eidolon's Ally and got it all the way upgraded. Just ready to get my Crux, right? Because surely it wasn't going to take that long. Eidolon's Ally is still in my D1 vault.
Same here.
But yeah, so I mean, but yeah, that white whale experience, I mean, it's something MMO players, like, at first we hate it, but like I said, it creates memories, it creates things that we can rally behind, and, good times, maybe friendships, I mean, but yeah, it definitely seems a shift, like somebody else is definitely taking over, and I still think they pulled out of sunsetting well too soon. But also, potentially, like, sunsetting itself has put more strain on, because we've heard from Blackburn not that long ago that they would have to put really staff up their investment team to really be able to crank out weapons and such. So that might be the flip side of the coin. And if that is the primary reason, I'm all down for it, because being the actual white collar worker of the group, blue collar. Jesus, I'm getting all kinds of backwards. Jesus. Yeah, being an actual blue collar worker of the group, I don't like it when my bosses are hassling me because we're behind and I have to work Saturdays over and over and over again just to get caught up. So I don't want to do that to people.
But I feel like this season has really been turning that corner on. Yes, people had some complaints last season, even though I felt like there was more weapons than people thought, especially if you look at the raid. But this season has been on point for weapons, both legendary and exotics.
Yes.
I definitely feel that. Well, bringing back the dungeons for the armor and bringing back weapons. I mean, like I said, I feel like they were on the cusp of something to really make sunsetting work.
Well,
Now,
we'll never know now.
You could change my mind on armor by doing one thing, Bungie. Just start throwing materials at me so it's not so expensive. Either lessen the cost to masterwork the armor, or make it more available where I can keep more of it and have more flexibility in creating builds. But the fact that it's so costly to build that perfect set of armor, if you get that drop, your white whale.
Then I was going to say, I actually normally agree that it is a very expensive thing, but I found out something this season.
What's that?
By them introducing Nightfall weapons again, I found out grinding out Nightfalls, 30 in a week, and still not getting a freaking shadow price. You can actually get a lot of materials.
Yes, even the
out
lowest
of just
ones,
striking.
eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Staying in the match-made ones, you can actually get a hefty chunk of materials. Because I was running
so many golf balls.
Yeah.
And the shards. Yeah.
I was actually running a little low because I was last couple seasons I've been masterworking some armor for specific things, and I was beginning to regret my decision because I was starting to run out of materials very quickly, and it was no fun. But yeah, grinding out Nightfalls, it's actually very profitable, and plus the new way the vendors work now. I mean, Shax and Drifter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they practically.
Yes.
If you live in those playlists, they're practically throwing materials at you.
Yeah, that's the plus this season too. Sorry, go ahead, Gator.
No, I just said if they handed them out when I played Crucible, because I don't play a lot of strikes, then I'd be happy with that.
Well, they do.
Well, they are more now, right?
Well, you get one for one.
But then you can do it again, right?
No,
it
goes back, reverts to an example.
Well, no, yeah, you don't get the golf ball, but you get
prisms.
You still get
prisms,
6 prisms. For a reset,
make a golf ball.
It's an improvement. Yeah. It's definitely improvement. And I always wear the ghost, where if I get a critical kill in Crucible, about every 10 games I'll get an enhancement prism too. I like that. I mean, they're getting there, but I think it could still be a little easier if materials weren't so expensive and so time invested to get these materials. Then I would be more apt to. I'm just complaining, I know. But I would be more apt to care about how often the armor lasts,
Yeah. And again, everyone listening to Latest Guardian Down, you guys definitely have an opinion, slightly different opinion on that. So it's all good.
Yeah. And like I said, I know my opinion is definitely especially when it comes to grinding and stuff, my opinion is 100% skewed. 100%.
See, that's the reason why, though.
Yeah, because I played RPGs and MMOs.
See, I didn't. I played shooters.
I mean,
really different.
Now, another place that people will understand grinding issues in white whales, shiny hunters in Pokemon.
Never did that either.
Just peek into that crap. That's nonsense.
I've heard.
Holy crap, man! You're talking a 1 in 600 some odd chance of one thing happen. Ooh. Anyway.
Yeah. And all the gotcha games you talked about. I remember those too. You said it was really rare to get.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, at worst right now thinking Brave XP is like a 2% drop rate for the rares. So I mean, it's not that bad in Gash's. I mean, Gash's. I mean, they got to put the carrot on the stick, so they got to be somewhat lenient, so that way they still get your money. Because you got to remember, Gacha is Japanese for "we want your money." Anyway, and no, I'm never going to let that joke die because it's true, even though it's not. Good. But it kind of is. So no more infusion caps. And they were going to be nerfing the holy crap out of Fellwinters and Warmind cells, so I hope all of these top-level people are happy. Anyway. Oh yes. Next big thing they talk about is, of course, power progression between each season. Some people think 50 power is too much to grind from one season to the next. Even though I want to get some opinions, like it usually only takes me like a week to hit pinnacle power cap. Now it could take you the rest of the season to get to the hard power cap.
You're talking for the powerful cap, and then there's the pinnacle cap. The pinnacle cap is
the last 10 is the pinnacle cap. Is what
yeah. Basically, yeah, for this season, it took me like the first week to hit 1300. And then 1310 is like the absolute cap.
Well, maybe one opinion is people just don't want to have to worry about it. But then again, my opinion is you don't have to worry about it. Just ignore it then.
You really don't, because
some people, it's a carrot for them. And you don't need to get that power cap unless you're wanting to do the Nightfalls on week 1. Now, I know, Gator, you're going to say Trials. I do think they should maybe just take that out of Trials. But I'm in no rush to get the 50, but the 50 doesn't bug me. I kind of find it funny that people are talking. It became this talking point on Twitter this season, even though I felt for a long time the 50 is kind of an odd choice. It didn't bug me, but I'm like, why did they even do this? But I just don't know why all of a sudden this season everyone's talking about it, because it's been around like that for a while.
Huh?
Well, other than Trials and your top, Trials and Iron Banner, as far as Crucible, that's the only reason why you need power. Otherwise, why is there any use for it?
The Master Nightfalls. Yeah, there's not much.
Not much. Any activity you're looking to do once it releases?
Yeah, the new activities, the new in-game activities. So
I can see an issue being with these new lost sectors that you have to run solo for these triumphs. If you're raising that cap every time you raise the power,
yes,
then you're just spreading that grind out even longer for potentially those who don't play that often. And that could be an issue.
You're going to have play at the end of the season. That solves the problem. And then don't play at the beginning of the season for those hard activities.
We talked about this because I was doing the 1289 Master Lost Sectors, and then all of a sudden this next season, I'm not quite enough power yet. I got to rank back up so I can go back and go for the armor again.
Yeah, you can't do them then.
No.
Well, welcome to an MMO loop.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I just wonder, will this... I'm not really concerned one way or the other with this decision, other than will it be a smart long-term decision? I'm just wondering if we're going to... And then why even do 10?
That's what I'm saying.
0,
Like 50 is literally like a kind of a non-issue. I mean, I don't play a lot. I mean, I can usually play daily-ish, a couple hours. And like I said, within a week and a half, I'm hitting the powerful cap. Like I said, this season, 1300. And especially with, the artifact giving me a little shove along, like the power cap doesn't seem to be an issue. Now the pinnacle cap, that can be a rough one. But if you're just gonna increase it by 10, so what is just going to be a pinnacle?
Yeah.
Like reaching the next pinnacle, basically.
If you're max power this season raw, then it would just be a pinnacle grind after that.
And that's the thing, because the harshest part. Too. Yeah, the harshest part of it is the pinnacle run.
Yeah.
Because once you hit the pinnacle power cap, you're only increasing maybe 1 or 2 with very few. I mean, even though they added, the playlist, play your 3 for your pinnacle, even though they added that, this is still kind of a scarce source of pinnacles.
And it's RNG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think people are looking at the big picture. People are going to see this and then start complaining about this too once they
I
start.
mean, for sure.
It's a Band-Aid. I don't think it's going to be a permanent fix. They're going to have to do something different.
I mean, it's.
But what? That's the
I don't
question.
know.
Yeah, seriously. Like what?
That's the $1 million question, because from what everybody's saying on YouTube, the progression system is broken. So what's Bungie going to do to fix it?
And
it started on Twitter. I don't know why they're complaining about it this season. All of a sudden, it's been like this for some seasons.
And I was about to say that's another difference between us, because I don't watch these people on YouTube.
Well, I value their opinion. That just doesn't mean I believe them. But
sure,
it's funny. It's like I mean, there's some points to it, even if we may not 100% agree. But I wonder if it's just like some talking point that someone decided, okay, we don't have anything to talk about this week. Okay, I'm going to push out a tweet saying,
yeah,
power, and at least some people will agree with that, and then it gets retweeted, and then more people start talking about it, and all of a sudden the YouTubers are making videos, and
yeah. And here's the thing. Here's one reason I don't believe a lot of like the higher end YouTubers, any of them. Just to kind of set my point, or kind of set where I stand, is I don't believe 100% anyone that makes it their job to cover one thing and make their like dependency on how well that one thing does. Because then you have things like Pat, and like you have to put out videos daily on this one thing, but there's not enough news to put videos out daily. So you get certain YouTubers that make like 10-minute intros to cover 5 minutes of news. Yes, it's an exaggeration, and yes, some of you know who I'm talking about, but I'm not saying names in particular. But then you have these skewed perspectives, like if their videos aren't doing good, or if Destiny's in a quote-unquote content drought that they can't continually make easy videos on, they get resentful to the game because of their poor life choice of putting all of their eggs in one basket.
The problem is you're dealing with Bungie has to deal with 6 different kinds of players that play their game. You have casual PvE, you have casual PvP, you have casual more of a hobbyist PvE, you got hobbyist PvP, and then you got the hardcore on each side. Those are 6 different kinds of players you're having to appease, and I don't envy their job.
And then you have the streamer and the content creators.
Yes.
Which are going to, like I said, they're going to have an entirely skewed perspective, because who knows if they actually love or hate the game on a particular week. Because you literally have some of them that go, well, my videos haven't been doing that great. So, and it's like, if you're bringing that into the content, then it's something that's weighing on you. And like I said, this is why I don't watch a lot of them, because A, their opinions really shouldn't be valued anywhere near as highly as most of the community does. I'm sorry, but they're just people. They're not developers that work on this game.
Nope.
They're just people playing the game.
Yeah, just take them with a grain of salt. That's what I do.
Yeah. I mean,
they have a job. That's a person has a job. That's their job.
I mean, yeah, but again, they're just people.
Yeah.
Their opinions are to me, their opinions are no better. Just because they have an audience, their opinion is no better or worse than anyone I play Destiny with. Now, as far as opinions I value or look into or keep track of, those are the devs when they speak. Because those are the opinions that are directly going to influence how a game will go, whether they listen to the community or not. Those are the opinions in these environments that actually matter.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But that's, like I said, that's just my stand on it, and that's, like I said, I have nothing personally against anybody, any content creator that chooses to focus on Destiny. I don't think it's a wise business choice to, again, put all of your eggs in one basket. That's kind of economics 101. But I digress on that one. But yeah, so that's That's me. That's my thoughts. Just because right now it comes to me that I can actually say these thoughts in a coherent manner.
I'm just confused why they're changing it to 10, and I'm just wondering, it's maybe a short-term decision, but then they're just going to have to change it again, and I just really don't think this 10 is going to be really much any different than 50.
Yeah.
It's real simple. Let us level up for playing the game, whatever we want to play. Should be that easy.
Okay, you pretty much can these days, especially up to the pinnacle, and even in the pinnacle, there's a lot more these days than there were a few seasons ago.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
You keep adding to pinnacles. There's all the new activities. Yeah.
When I'm playing a patrol, for instance, and I get a blue drop, is it more power than what I am now? Can it help me proceed? 9 times out of 10, no. Especially if you've hit the soft cap, you're going to get stuff that's lower or about the same level. They need to change that. Let some higher power stuff drop.
Yeah.
Or base it on experience. Base it on experience levels, or how much time you put in the game. That should matter. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll get you guys off the rails if you let me.
Oh no, because I mean that's the thing. You keep mentioning like basically respecting a player's time. Okay, imagine this, because this is another horror story that's very true. You've gone through all your grind. You've made it to the end of, let's say, a nightfall. And what you want to drop, let's say Shadow Price, it's sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the nightmare. That's one drop given between one of the people in the strike. That means one person is going to walk away with that Shadow Price. The other two won't.
I'll say
welcome to MMO.
Yeah, and there's 9,000 different combinations of that weapon too.
Yeah, those haven't been bugging me as much. Like I would have liked to have gotten a palindrome by now, but also the fact, like, I just look at it as a long-term grind. Like, they're going to be with us throughout at least the year.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just working on it slowly over time.
I'm not super stressed about actually getting one because, I mean, by the time I hit Pinnacle, which I definitely will be, because I'll be wanting to get these weapons more often. So I'll be reaching those Grandmasters and such because I want weapons. A Shadow Price I really don't care about. It's probably just going to do exactly like my Shadow Price in D1 did. Sit in my vault.
Yeah, I ran it. I got a roll, and I didn't get the best roll, but it's really not, at least in PvE when I was running, it wasn't anything too special.
Kind of just like in D1, if you're going to run a Shadow Price, why not just run Suros?
Or what was the other? It felt very similar to, there was another Void auto rifle that was pretty good, but this one felt like even worse. Well, anyways, I'm digressing a lot too. I don't have enough experience with it to know, but I am interested in Palindrome, how it feels and compares to my D1 Palindrome, because I was even using it the other day in some D1 raids.
Extraordinarily similar.
That's good. Like similar to the God roll with the good range and stability?
Yes. Like, depending upon, of course, how your range and stability go. Of course, I mean, using that weapon actually reminded me why Palindrome was good in Rise of Iron. And if you remember, that's kind of when they started tweaking Bloom, essentially. And Bloom was felt harshly on hand cannons because, well, we didn't know. I had a clue, but a lot of people didn't really know for sure. Of course, I didn't even know for sure. But because Palindrome felt so good, but it had a massive stability above and beyond most hand cannons of that type. Like, especially during the time. So that's what got gears turning in my head, wondering if stability had anything to do with Bloom. And then years later in D2, Bungie says, yes! Stability also plays into accuracy a bit. So, yeah. Anyhow, but yes, feels very similar for pretty much the exact same reasons.
Nice. We better move on to more parts of this article. We still have a lot to go.
Yes, because the next thing to talk about, of course, is PvP environments and updates. They do have 3 massive rollouts for changes. in the first one, they will be. I still don't understand the term for this, but 3 peaking. Yes, I know it's using, the third perspective or whatever. But why
Emotes.
3 and not third? But anyway,
Or
but yes,
sword peeking.
exactly.
Emotes or sword peeking.
Just
Now, sword
cheap-
peeking makes more
cheap
sense,
term,
but
I
anyway,
guess.
third person. There we go. Not third perspective. Anyway, but yes, and they will be doing what many a game that have emotes that do much of the exact same thing. They will be disabling them in. I know Trials. Was there anywhere else they mentioned?
I'm looking right now. Trials and competitive.
Yeah. There we go. Comp. So they'll be basically. I guess one's they mentioned swords will not actually be able to pull you into third person if it doesn't have ammo. I mean, I don't know why people are really bugging about 3 peeking anyway. I mean, a lot of people do in a lot of different communities for a lot of different shooters. Kind of makes sense, but also at the same time, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think too many people are upset that they're turning it off. It's just, it is what it is. Maybe people are getting in standoffs with it, just kind of peeking on both sides, and
Which also, if there's an issue with that, use Duskfield Grenade.
Yep.
It pulls them out of cover. It's glorious. Use a smart tool to do smart things, people.
Yeah.
Ah.
But
Anyway.
I think this is a good decision. It might as well. It's just kind of one of those.
No.
things.
I mean,
yeah.
It's fair. People complain about it, and if you can fix it, fix it. Why not? I just won't complain about it because I don't care.
Yeah, I definitely am happy there. I'm not complaining about it, but I think it's a good decision because I personally don't use it, and it's for people who don't know about it or don't utilize it. Yeah, it could create an advantage for the other person. So I think it does level the playing field. But again, I'm not one who uses it or complains about it, but I think it would be a good fix overall for the overall Crucible playlist in general. Trials
for
and
sure.
competitive.
All right. Let's see. And of course, secondly, they're going to be taking Stasis is taking another hit, people. Is anyone surprised? I'm not. Because a lot of this actually makes sense. Of course, Behemoth Titans are going to get their tuning pass. They make mention their damage reduction in their super is going down. Duh, it needed to. Why do Titans always end up with this? See, back when Sunbreaker was first introduced, it had the most damage resistance out of any super. You know what they did to it? They eventually nerfed it. Why did they keep doing following into these same patterns? Titan gets a super. It's really tough to kill. No one likes to fight against it. Bungie brings down damage resistance. I don't. This cycle just keeps repeating. They will be increasing the super cost when performing the light attacks, which is, the Superman punch. Removing the AoE freeze on cast, and they will be reducing the travel efficacy of Shiver Strike when slowed, which is the melee in Super, or the melee in general. Which, to be fair, using Duskfield and watching a Titan just punch their way out of it, no big deal, I got this. Okay. That's disheartening. Hunters. A lot of people might expect me to be mad at these changes. But they will be decreasing Withering Blade damage and tracking. Fair. Decrease the slow stacks applied to targets. Fair. And remove Shatter Dive damage reduction. Fair. I see nothing really outstanding in these changes. Warlocks. They are fixing a bug. Yeah, fixing a bug.
I think you mentioned that, Gator, like the Warlocks are in a way getting buffed instead of nerfed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it really
we had bugs in our super?
Well, with buffed back to where it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it really a buff if it's just making it work as intended? Because he has Ice Flare bolts, wooden tracks targets immediately, apparently. The Shadebind super projectiles were not tracking until a certain distance traveled. Maybe that's why I was getting away from them a little more often. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then in general, they will be decreasing the crystal shatter damage. Duh. I mean, they kind of did that before, and then Fallout made a video. And it's like, oh yeah, it can still like one-shot any super. I'm sorry, but if a grenade can one-shot a super from full health, something's fishy. And something was fishy. So yeah.
Increasing, and then of course also increasing damage reduction when frozen to provide more survivability for the victim. I mean, I could, what right now you get frozen and you're basically absolute last little bit if you can get out of it before they kill you.
I mean,
I don't know if that makes a huge difference, but I guess it's good. Most of the time, you're going to get shot, killed the rest of the way when you're frozen. But let's say you do get out of it, I guess then at least you might have a chance of needing 2 more shots instead of 1 shot to get
yeah. Whatever. So the one of those changes is kind of like, we'll see. You know, that's definitely we'll have to see how much they do, see how it helps or if it helps, like the general feel of being frozen. And of course they make their giant statement that they will be aiming to nearly double the size of the security team. They're rolling out surveys to help understand how people feel about the Crucible experience. 90% of those are going to be echo chambered, guaranteed. Anyway, and this part, I love this bulletin. We've begun a strategy of aggressive legal action against cheat developers. Yes, I think we even covered that news.
We did, yeah.
Glorious. Glorious. So yeah, they're still going to do that. And of course they are looking to overhaul trials to improve the overall health of the trials matchmaking pool by incentivizing a wider audience to engage and better defining separation of skill tiers. Defining separation of skill tiers.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds like skill-based matchmaking to me. That thing everyone hates.
Well,
anyway.
See, maybe they're just dropping the little hint right now and then see how people think about it. And then, oh, yeah, what it's going to be is SBMM.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, anyway, people just need to freaking go away. Anyway, so I guess their overall goal is to making 3 to 5 wins a more achievable goal for more players, which, to be fair, the entire Trials experience, I definitely agree with their original vision that Lighthouse is a special thing for special Crucible players. 100%. I've went there once in D1 under my own power. Could have went there twice, but I had a disconnection issue and Trials of the 9, but that's neither here nor there because I was running with a team of sweaty people at that point in time. But yeah, so I'll probably never really go there. But yeah, if I can hit 3 wins.
You cut out again? But yeah, it would be good for more people to get 3 wins for sure. And there's something about solo players, they want them to participate in trials more regularly. So whatever they're going to do there, I don't know that they're necessarily going to bring a solo match-made playlist, but
I think that's what they're inferring. Yeah,
maybe.
It'll be like every LFG team you join anyway. No one will talk to each other, and as soon as they get the card number they want of completions, they'll just leave. I don't know. I think Hazel mentioned something last night how it should be where you have to stick with that team until the card is complete, until you're burnt out of the card or whatever. I don't know. I thought that was an interesting point he made last night.
I hear you, Des.
Yeah. That one wasn't my fault. That was Discord's fault.
No
Just to
worries.
clarify.
No
I
worries.
didn't hit a button.
We just were continuing the conversation, but yeah, not too much else saying. We're just kind of wrapping
Yeah.
up on that. So,
Well, yeah, because like I said, I probably didn't get cut off, but yeah, more population early is nice, but I still believe Lighthouse needs to be rare. But yeah, TLDR
yep.
of
Ooh,
what
I'm
may or may
really-
not have been heard.
I'm really
We heard that
excited
part.
about the next few things.
Oh, I know
Pray
yours.
this
I know-
Riven.
Yep.
We
Sorry,
officially
Des.
now
No,
know.
it's okay.
We were speculating this next season, but we officially now know.
I'm just
I
being
might have
honest
called
here.
this, but I can't remember what my prediction was. And I don't remember what episode we even did that prediction. Crap. So yeah, let me know if I called this or not. I really
think
don't
you and I
care
both
either
did.
way.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think we did. I
Yeah.
really don't care, but
No, I have
It's
other
good.
predictions that I'm going to talk about later. But yeah, this one, we were just saying it makes most sense doing it this season than the last season
Yeah.
right before the DLC.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely coming out the next season.
hmm
Because that's what they say. And it will have a contest mode, which is nice. But this world's first.
Vault of Glass. I mean, yeah, you did say Prayer
Oh, yeah.
Revenge.
Sorry.
We didn't actually say Vault of
Sorry.
Glass. Yeah, Vault of Glass is coming
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
we're kind of just diving
Next
into the
season.
topic. Yeah. Vault of Glass is coming back the next season. Being a return, even though it's a returning raid, they're still treating it like a big deal because it will have a world's first race. It will have a contest mode. But in order to claim that world's first title, because it is a reissued raid, not only are you going to have to go through contest mode and any new shenanigans Bungie's going to throw your way, but there are going to be a list of challenges or something or another. A curated list of challenging triumphs. So yeah. So apparently these triumphs are going to, weed out the world's first and who's not and who actually gets it done and who gets to unlock another near $100 jacket.
Well, yeah. I mean, that one may be a whole week versus a day, but yeah. Oh, it'll be interesting to see what they have. Maybe we have to kill all or something.
I know, right? It's going to be. Oh, and I do we'd like our future rad raid and dungeon content to offer master difficulty versions. So yes, they are bringing heroics. That's what they called them. Bringing heroics back as master.
Finally.
I know,
knew
right?
Kingsley was going to love this. I knew he was going to love this when I read this.
Yeah. I mean, especially for Deepstone, but even Garden, Last Wish, sure. I mean, and this can even be an opportunity to, since they're putting some development into it, to close the cheese on Last Wish to on the heroic version. You have to do Riven legit. I'm down for learning it,
Yeah, kind of like when we threw our head against the wall, seeing if we could make a Riven cheese work. I mean, if it's dead, it's dead. I'll learn it.
Yeah.
But just, back in the day, when it released and seeing diagrams, and it's oh, there's a cheese? Yeah, sure, let's do that. Because,
Yeah, and Last Wish is already kind of long. If we're just trying to clear it, the cheese is great. But, and of course, adept versions of weapons can also come in these
Yes.
raids and dungeons.
Adepts are back, which, wasn't it the... Well, no, I think it was Trials that kind of started the Adept thing, and then they used it for the Rise of Iron reissues. Because I know it was the Adept exotic primaries that could be elemental in Rise of Iron, and that was their big deal. They brought the elements back.
Mhm.
But yeah, Adept weapons are coming back, and I wonder what they're going to do for them, other than an extra mod socket. Which, also, if you haven't looked at these Adept mods, my God, are some of them incredible. Others are just kind of what? But yes.
Vault of Glass. It'll be an
Vault of
experience.
Glass.
We'll get our team together at some point.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fun to hop
I'll
in.
be running Vault.
Yeah,
I'll be running. Oh yes, I'm definitely going to try and run Vault day one. 100%, 100%. Because I mean, good lord, that's what started my whole Sherpa thing anyway. Being unemployed and Vault dropping and like watching Twitch people do the raid and like gathering strategies and like once everyone got online, I'm sure I've told this story, but the campfire segments, like literally my friends would get, or one of my friends would actually get everyone to sit in a semicircle in front of me, launch down a solar nade for the campfire, and listen to me explain crap. It was glorious. It was so fun. It was great. So I have to do a day one try on Vault. Have to.
For sure.
I owe it to it.
Only if I get a campfire.
Yeah, let's plan on it. We'll get you a campfire.
Well, you're a warlock, so bring your own solar nade. So.
Okay.
Oh God, it's just.
Oh man,
makes me
imagine
wonder.
stasis Duskfield on the on the. You know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah.
the guys that
Templar?
explode. The
Oh
no, the green.
Oh no,
the what are they called? You know, the little Vex guys that when you explode, they get the green pool of death on the ground.
Oh no, yeah, that was the heretics at first.
Yeah,
because heretics
just slow.
Heretics are a thing now, but yeah, they originated in Vault.
Yes, they originated in Vault.
But if you could slow them, ooh, so much. Mm-hmm. Oh God, yeah. But of course, if we're thinking about this, undoubtedly, Bungie's already play tested this, so.
Oh yeah, it's not. There'll probably be twice as many. They're probably be coming from.
Oh God, something.
Corners, not just the main
like,
area.
I cannot wait to see what they do to like change it because, no matter what, D2 is just it is a drastically different beast than the D1 we left.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just is, just with how our powers work and how our weapons work. I mean, we're not stuck to the normal, the primary, secondary, heavy loadouts anymore. Anyhow, moving on. They are bringing back one of my favorites, insequential side characters, for Transmog. Ada 1 is coming back, and she will be our vendor for what Bungie is calling armor synthesis.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
Yes. Well, I'm just glad they're bringing Ada 1 back, to be honest, and I liked Ada 1. I liked her story and everything. But anyway, so yeah, every season Ada will offer players a set of bounties and highlight various activity types, blah, blah, blah. You complete these bounties, and you get materials needed to power up Ada's loom, which can turn any piece of armor in your collection into a permanent, universal ornament. And players short on time will be able to purchase these same materials for tokens. I mean, for silver.
Smarter than them for finding another way to make money.
Right? Welcome to MMOs.
I know. And now we have to do a lot of work to get this. Well, maybe it's not a lot of work, but if we want to do all of our collection, it may be a lot of work.
Oh, God. I know, right? Like, if you have a lot in your collection you'd like to see. Oof. But the biggest news is like, yes, the biggest news in this entire thing to me, anyway, is the fact that because of this grand new open options for armor customization and ornaments, for one, we are getting an appearance page to where we can set armor ornaments and shaders all in one go without having to go into each individual armor piece anymore. Nice.
Yeah, I see
Part
that
2. Yes. But yeah, part 2, most glorious thing ever. They're finally doing it. Shaders will no longer be stacked items. Shaders will be unlockable.
Yes. Right? I get cool new shaders in the season. I'm like, okay, what do I have to cycle out of my inventory so I can start collecting these?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad when you see like, oh, I got a new shader, and all of a sudden it goes to Postmaster. It's like, oh no, here we go again. Here's 5 minutes of me deleting shaders.
And I already have Postmaster problems, and I don't need shaders causing any more.
Right. A lot of shaders sitting in there, Sin.
It's like the most awful thing. But yes, they are fixing that problem. Shaders are going to be unlocks, so you will no longer have to have and here's another thing I hate. It's like you go through and you're playing the Fashion Souls thing, and you're trying to find like that right color. Maybe you don't have it on you, or maybe you find like the color you really want. You start applying it to your armor, and you're one short. Sorry, it's just awful. You have to go down. You have to go through your collections, track down where that shader is, remember where it even is in the start. Anywho, but yes. Sorry, fashion problems apparently. But yes, but last but not least, oh wow, this is Joe Blackburn. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just realized who wrote this entire thing.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, not bad. I didn't realize he wasn't at Bungie from the start. Anyhow. Because yeah, he actually makes mention that
Joe Goroth. Joe Gogoroth is his
Yeah,
name.
Yeah, because he was a player of Destiny before joining Bungie. So yeah, interesting.
Well, wasn't he with them for a while and then he left and he came back? I thought even too. I think.
Well, no, he mentions at the top of this article that when Destiny came out, he wasn't part of Bungie.
Yeah,
but then he joined Bungie because of Destiny. But yes, then he did leave for a bit because he was huge in D1 development, and then he left. But now he's back.
Yep.
Yay, Joe. Anyway.
Yay, Joe.
So yes, the last thing, Combined Fire. They have given us a time for crossplay.
Dun, dun,
Season
dun.
15. It's happening. Same time we're getting Vault.
No.
Not bad.
Vault is 14.
No,
15 is the season after. So the next one is 14, and then crossplay is the next one after that.
So this one's season 13, yeah?
We're in 13, right?
No, okay, yeah, that's where I was getting confused. For some reason, I was thinking for a hot second that we were already in 14. My bad.
All good. And that's why I want season 14 to not be long. So crossplay
I know, right?
sooner.
I know, right? But yeah.
Think how quickly we'll get raids together with crossplay.
Okay, well, there's a couple things I'm going to mention that some people may not have realized, but yeah, go forth and tell us the details first.
No, I was about to cover the bigger things because, I mean, it says right here, I'm looking at it, and don't worry, we won't be matching console and PC players together in the Crucible unless PC players specifically invite their console friends to play with them in the PC Crucible pools.
I mean, we knew we were going to do something. I don't know why people were getting worried.
I mean, yeah, which, again, I was just hoping they would do something. Like I said, there are a couple games that do input matchmaking methods. This seems very close to that. There's going to be problems with it at first, I almost 100% guarantee, but once they iron it out, it's probably going to be awesome.
Also, I suggest people just don't worry about it. Already on PC, you're playing people that have slow rigs, 30 frames, versus people that have good rigs, 200 frames. So just play with everyone and just don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, regardless of what your YouTubers are going to say, the PC player pool is much larger than them.
Yeah, there are plebs on PC too. I run across them sometimes, especially in Rumble. Okay, so I have to revamp some of my predictions. There was two things in this article that, because I'm fair about my predictions, unlike Gator.
What?
But, first of all, Gator. Okay, I have a little qualm. I mean, you say Destiny 2 Online is it's going to be coming sometime, but you can't just keep pushing it back indefinitely and say
I was a little early. It's okay as long as it happens. I'm good.
Okay, put a time limit on it now. No, anyways.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I had two predictions. One was that crossplay was going to be coming in the fall with the DLC. Now, to be a little bit fair to still give me points, they're pushing back the DLC. But sorry, no. Sorry for a second. Crossplay, I said was coming with the DLC. They're bringing crossplay sooner, in essence. So I was off by that a little bit by a season. Okay, fine. I admit that.
Still pretty good
news. Good news, right? I'm not complaining it's coming sooner. The other prediction I had was they're going to drop last gen console support with the new DLC, which I said would be this fall. I guess if you still want to give me a point, you can say I'll still be right if they drop it in the early next year when the DLC comes out. But I was expecting it was going to be in the fall.
You're okay. So you're saying Witch Queen is when they're not going to support
Witch Queen is what and I know it's a strong prediction, but my prediction is that's when they're going to drop current console support with Witch Queen.
Sorry, Des. What were you going to say?
Oh no, it was, I mean, it's a fair prediction because it's not bad. I just personally feel Lightfall might be the end of
That's my prediction.
I know a lot of people are
last
guessing.
gen.
Yeah, a lot of people guessing. Although, and I was getting a little worried because it's slow getting out all the PS5s and stuff. So I'm like, ooh, that's a strong prediction. But I knew I had to stand by it to be fair with my prediction and not push it back. But now I'm a little more at ease because Witch Queen has got pushed back. So they could still potentially, do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would definitely still see it, for sure. Like if they did in the previous gen in Witch Queen.
I have much
I
respect
kinda hope not, but
that you're sticking to your prediction. I don't know who would back up their predictions. Push it back.
Push them down.
I mean,
Doesn't make any sense.
certainly not Gator.
No, not at all.
And one other thing, real quick, about crossplay. We are going to have slight issues with, and I'm going to try to push Discord, but when PlayStation and/or playing with Xbox and/or playing with PC, we can't all be in an easy voice chat, right? We have to pick somewhere because PlayStation can only talk to PlayStation people, Xbox can only talk to Xbox people, and Discord, anyone can go there. But I know some PlayStation people may be like, oh, I don't have a good Discord set up through my phone or whatever, this and that. So it's going to be an issue at times. Just saying that ahead of time. We got to think of a plan. I'm pushing Discord unless I hear something better. So people start thinking about that. Find a way you can get a good Discord audio setup because that's where crossplay voice chat will probably be.
Because PC doesn't have, or Destiny PC doesn't have do they have like an in-game?
I think they might.
Voice chat system?
Steam does.
I know. Well, it's much like the consoles too. Because if you're going to play on the console, why not just party up? But I mean, at the very least, if people are worried about it, the quality is going to be crappy anyway. But I mean, there is Destiny's in-game,
Oh, and that potentially would work. Crossplay is what you're saying.
It would, but it's so poor quality.
It is. I hate it. Like, it's hard enough. You got to get good communication when raiding. And then when you have someone like playing music in the background and then they're like on the in-game chat system, you're like, what? I didn't hear you. What?
Or they're using it, or they have their mic on their controller on a PS5 open. You can hear everything that's going on all the time. We're gonna push Discord for our clan. Mm-hmm. We're gonna hope, because most of our clan mates touch base through the Discord. It just makes sense, but I'm sure we'll have to figure it out. We'll probably have that same issue that you guys are probably gonna have as well.
But hey, at least it's an option. Having crossplay. So.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Discord's not being nice to me today.
Well, you sound good quality when you're here.
You do.
Yeah, I mean, if for some reason it's just like I'll keep talking, and all of a sudden there's just quiet, and it's like I'm not part of anything, so I have to leave. I have to come back. It's really weird. Anywho.
But crossplay, finally, we're so excited.
Indeed. I just can't. Like, it's going to be cool to be able to look into the raid thing, any activity basically, and just be able to go, yeah, I'll be a part of that, and not have to worry about where it's happening.
The problem we have right now is we're mainly a PS and PC clan. We have some Xboxers in our clan, but they kind of feel like they're off by themselves because we just don't have enough to put raids and stuff together sometimes. And
guess what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think this is going to strengthen Discords more than ever. Mm-hmm. The crossplay.
I mean, yeah, and there is, like I said, there's the in-game chat, which, like I said, people use that enough. Discord will be an option because in-game is awful.
Well, maybe Destiny has a plan and they haven't told us yet, but hey, maybe they'll make the in-game awesome and we won't have to worry about anything, really.
I mean, it's potential. And also, I get one piece of advice, which probably got cut off. If you have a phone and you use a headset that uses I think this is an 8.5 millimeter plug.
Mm-hmm.
If you just have a phone and the proper plug, like I said, my quality, my setup right now, as per recording, is exactly that.
Yeah, and it's really good.
It's not bad. It's way better than in-game chat. Let me tell you.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's not awful. It's simple. I mean, it's not that bad. Discord.
Well,
don't be afraid of it.
when Hazel was having computer issues, I think he did 10 episodes strictly from his phone.
Yeah,
With a headset on.
That's all I do because that's all I have. So
There shouldn't be an excuse. Discord is such an easy thing I got it on my phone. I got it on my tablet. It's such an easy program. I don't see problems with this. I mean, we interviewed Axe in his car. He was wearing a headset in his car on his phone, and we did an interview with him.
Mm-hmm.
And we did an interview with Kitty while she was out watching fireworks on the 4th of July while she was wearing her headset, I'm assuming, and on her phone. So I don't think there's any excuse. I think you should be able to use Discord pretty easily.
Yeah, I just suggest people start looking into it ahead of time.
Right.
Make sure you have a headset, or if you have one of the newer phones that jacks, you can usually get like a little adapter, so it'll still work. Just look into it ahead of time, and then it won't be a big deal.
Or use the crappy earbud that came with your phone or whatever. Like any phone headset with a microphone, like if you're using your phone, that will work. I mean, it's options. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
It's like when the PS4 came out, and it was crappy, yes, but it started coming out with a mic that worked for chat. So people still using the excuse like, "Oh, I don't have a mic." It's like, dude, you have a PS4. Come on, you have a mic. You may not want to use it, but you have a mic.
It was awful. Crap ever released.
It was awful. It was awful.
So cheap. I think I looked at it and it broke.
Right. It was awful.
It was bad.
Yeah. Okay, but you don't need a fancy mic. I've been recommending these Turtle Beach $30 headsets that you can get on Amazon, and that's what I'm on a lot, and it works great.
I guess the point is, the hybrid ones are nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the HyperCloud, like I'm using Stingers. They're like $20-$30.
Yeah, so
comfortable, basic, nice. Come on, there's options out there. Hop on Amazon, check them out.
Yeah, the TLDR here is it's really not that intimidating to get on Discord chat. It's very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's much the same environment.
Yep. Well, good.
Just a slightly different perspective.
I knew we were going to have to talk about it at some point, and now that we know about crossplay, we might as well start planning for it.
For sure. I mean, yeah. But also, to backtrack just a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised. Also, like I said, if Witch Queen would be the end of last console support, considering there are games coming out that are starting to kind of veer away-ish from PS4, which is also kind of good news for Sin. They are indeed re-releasing Final Fantasy VII Remake for PS5.
Solid.
So it's going to have better graphics, it's going to have better stuff, but there is DLC. If you have a copy on the PS4, which I think you don't anymore, Sin, so that's the bad news. But if you have a copy or the digital copy, you can upgrade to the PS5 version for free. But there is DLC that's coming out on the PS5 version that you cannot play on the PS4 version. So that's starting, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm waiting for my Amazon PS5, but Amazon has been getting less stock these days than Sony Direct and Target and Best Buy. I've been seeing drops almost a couple times a week these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sony Direct's how I got mine. They were doing daily releases.
Yeah.
Games all the way.
We have a few more. Sin, you still with us? We're almost done.
Barely.
We're live already. What are you doing? Sleeping?
No. I'm close. I'm trying to stay awake here, but these strikes are not helping me.
Oh yeah, sometimes I'll fall asleep in them too.
But I now have I'm 7 of 10 for this week, so I've been making some progress for the marathon.
We all knew it was going to happen.
I know.
Hey, we appreciate you sticking with us, Gator. We knew it was going to be a big.
Are you kidding me? I'm used to this.
Yeah, you are. But you have other segments that kind of break it up, but we're going.
I'm
Hog
enjoying
wild
myself.
Going ham.
I'm enjoying myself, and I love that Des pushes back when I say something. Hazel does
That's how
it
you
too.
get it.
Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
That's how you get it. That's how you get conversation and opinions that are interesting.
Absolutely.
If you just stay in your comfort zone and let things happen, things will just happen.
Then
Push
it's
back
a
a little
commercial.
bit. Make things
Then
spicy.
Then it's a Destiny commercial, right? If everyone agrees.
Right? And speaking of
So-
like ads,
So
like
what you're
I still
saying is
don't.
pushback, just like when they sunset planets, right?
I'm not going there.
Love you too, son.
Some planets have sunsets. We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll go with that one.
I know we have a little bit to go. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How are they going to introduce the Volta Glass? You think they're going to bring back Venus?
No,
No.
I
Just a
doubt
magical
it too.
magical portal, probably.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's just
We have an entire.
Yeah.
I was about to say we have an entire Vex network that leads to like Vex Homeworld on Europa now.
That makes sense.
It would be nice, and maybe they had this planned all along, and maybe one of the reasons why they couldn't put as much time in the Cosmodrome. But they basically told us once a year we'd be getting a new destination,
Mhm.
and then maybe an old. And so we already got the Cosmodrome, so I don't think we'd be getting Venus this year. Also,
Oh, I see what you mean.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
I mean
that
it'd be
like
nice, but
ooh, maybe we won't need to open it. They might
Oh, but
cut
it's so
that
fun
if we don't have
opening it. I hope
Venus.
we can.
It is, and it's easy, but also at the same time, I feel like if
It's
there
like
is a part
dramatic-
2,
Uh-huh.
well, I was about to say, if there is a part 2 cut from Vault to make things a little easier or seamless or whatever, I'd say the opening.
Oh,
Okay,
I
well-
want the opening.
Maybe we open it, but in a different.
I want
play
it
space.
too.
And
Yeah,
then
I mean,
it's
I
just a
wanna
different
open
play
it
space.
too.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, if there is going to be a part that needs to be cut, I would 100% rather the open than
Yeah.
anything else.
Right.
But yeah,
We'll have
Well-
some kind of weird cipher, and it will open our ghost up, and cipher will go in, and it'll open up. You
This
know
is
how
a
fun this
perfect segue. I know who's going to help us open it because she's evil, right?
Mm-mm.
Jess?
Mm.
Am I missing something here?
All I know is Eris Morn has got it going on.
No. Well, also, no. Ikora Ray.
Hmm? Actually, yeah, that's true.
Of course.
Because they did mention. Well, I was
I mean,
about to say
that's-
they did.
She's going to have more. Yeah, that's the next point. I don't want to take your
Yeah.
jails, but
No, you're good.
we're going to see her more in season 14 and have
Yeah.
plus a pivotal role in the Witch Queen. So remember, she was already
Yeah.
trying to build Vex Gate. So she'll maybe just have a Vex Gate for us for the Volta Glass.
Good point.
Well, I mean, let's think about it also because we also have Osiris who is delving into the Vex post
Yeah.
the Hive. So I mean, we got like a couple people that know the Vex quite well. Just saying.
Intimately.
Cora evil? I don't know. But that does remind me of one thing Laz wanted to talk
Yeah,
about.
we have that question. Let me pull it
Yeah.
up. Unless you have it.
Would love to hear speculation on Witch Queen. I've seen a few theories running around that we haven't diverted from the dark timeline of Eris becoming the Witch Queen. Also a theory that Ikora could turn towards the darkness. Now, as far as I know, Ikora, I don't know. I don't see. Like, I might have to like track down these theories and see where they're trying to connect dots. But I just don't see that one. Eris Morn, on the other hand,
Yes.
That's an easy choice, right?
She's definitely sus. Definitely sus.
Well, you see, here's the thing, because in the dark future, yes, Eris Morn is taken over to be Savathun's right-hand witch. Which, I mean, it's easy to do. She knows Hive in and out. She learned from Tolan. She had to survive in the Hellmouth. You know, she knows Hive rituals and such. But here's the thing. The fact that, because I believe I mentioned it, if you look at early... Is it the early Beyond Light lore? Where Eris is, like, writing letters to people? You hear her use, like, extraordinarily similar tones and terminologies that Aramis was using when she was tempted by the darkness. Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry,
No,
I
I
thought
heard.
Discord
Sorry.
cracked
No,
out on me
no,
again.
no. Yeah,
Jesus.
I was
You're
wondering
like-
if you had more to say, but yeah, no, yeah.
But no, I mean, like, yeah, that entire, like, connection, like, that still makes me highly suspect. Now, as far as exactly how the dark future is going to go, as in the stranger's past, I think we're pretty much clear of that exact scenario, because the stranger did tell us that everyone was tempted by the darkness. No one escaped that temptation, not even us. But now we're using stasis and we're actually striving and growing stronger with it. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I think that exact instance isn't going to happen anymore. I still don't know about Eris, and I hate that because I actually like Eris as a character. But she is highly suspect right now.
If you look back at some of the store we've already seen from past expansions, Eris is like in Arrivals. Eris kind of just went off on her own, and she kind of ignored Zavala, didn't agree with him exactly, and kind of broke off. So maybe that's the prelude to what's going to happen.
Well, part of that is because she actually works more directly for Ikora.
Okay.
She's part of Ikora's hidden that you keep hearing very rarely.
Oh yeah.
In game dialogue. Eris is a hidden, which is basically Ikora's like Black Ops, essentially.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the hidden has been in lore since D1. It's just, I think they mentioned back in D1 that Eris was a hidden, but then her story was kind of weird and twisted one way or another. But I'm pretty sure, especially in the letters that in the letter that Eris sent to Ikora, she mentions Ikora taking her in as a hidden. So, yeah, she's a little more off. Like, at least for her going off isn't exactly suspect material because, again, it's like Black Ops. They're just because they seem like they're going off the rail doesn't mean they're actually going off the rail.
Yeah.
But yeah, her dialogue sometimes. It's the subtle clues. But yeah, she's definitely still highly suspect for me. Highly. I don't trust her like I used to. I still don't trust Rasputin, and he is not even back yet. So, I'm just saying, if Terminator taught me anything, Skynet sucks, okay? That's what Rasputin reminded me of, like, from the start. Freaking Skynet.
All right, and then we have one other thing in here, right?
Do we? Okay.
I think so. Just a small thing. Well, it could be a big thing. Season 15, we will introduce our first round of legendary stasis energy weapons.
Yeah, stasis is going to be a legit element,
except for
exciting. Subclasses and one gun.
But
I was curious. Yeah, I was curious about that because when they introduced elemental wells, like a lot of them make mention of. Well, specifically, I think it's the elemental armament, where if you're using a gun, it progressively gets a chance to drop an elemental well of the gun's element. And then, like, if you pick up a well and your subclass matches that well, you get a damage boost on your weapons. You can't do that with stasis. And that was my only hitch on that, because we don't have, other than the one heavy grenade launcher, we don't have weapons that can deal stasis damage.
I'm down for stasis weapons.
For sure.
I'm thinking of last night's show. I was making fun of stasis weapons, going, "It's going to be a Slurpee gun." Just putting out frozen Slurpee on everybody, right?
Oh, I see.
You couldn't go with a blizzard or something? I mean, come on.
Hazel said Slurpee. What are you talking about? I'm like, you don't have 7-Elevens up there? He finally got it, but
oh, okay. Well, there is a lot. I mean, are we excited? What are we thinking? Gator, you like pretty much all the changes anyways in here. I guess TLDR, I mean, we're happy, right?
Yeah, like I told Hazel, we're going to be podcasting for a long time. A
That too, right?
ahead of us. A lot of destiny ahead of us for a long time.
Sin, we got at least 3 more years.
Yeah, it's looking like that.
He's like, don't tell me right now. It's a long show.
I mean, we've got to go like at least 4 years to beat my last run. So yeah.
What else? Any other things you want to talk about, Gator, before we start getting closer to wrapping it up? Like topics you had on your mind, or anything about talked about tonight?
Gosh, I've said so much this week. Nothing comes to mind. You guys are pretty thorough.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, there's a lot. I did listen to your guys' podcast earlier. Hazel did a really good job. He read the thing, kind of what Des you were reading, and he did a good job with that also. And
I'll be the judge of that.
You were better. You were better.
You're gonna like it, Des. You're gonna like
no,
it.
I love you, Hazel. But there's a lot of information in there. That's for sure.
Yeah, Hazel broke it up by seasons. It's the only difference, and your name might have come up, Des.
Oh, I know it has. Kind of like the
ad,
what I thought was a shout out that turned into an ad, and it's like, are you kidding me?
Ad every week. Yeah,
it's like, dang it!
You get to hear shout out every week.
Yeah, because I mean, it was funny because I started listening back. It's like, oh, it's adorable. They gave me a shout out. Cool. Then I listened to the next episode. I was like, wait, it's the same thing. These pieces of crap just made me an ad.
Sorry, you're not going to get any residuals off of it. Sorry.
Seems like we're going to have to tack on to that lawsuit.
Yeah, we're going to. Maybe you need to update your ad, Skater. I mean, you don't have a new Destiny clan anymore, right? So maybe you should change that word too.
Oh my gosh, yeah, our clan is growing crazy, and you guys are about maximum, aren't you? Aren't you guys?
We've been max for a while, but it always kind of there's a couple people that just leave voluntarily every once in a while, and then so we can add a couple more people in. So we haven't had to totally worry about what to do, but we've always been pushing that line.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Our egress has matched our ingress, so it hasn't been much of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
With crossplay now coming up, I would hope that they can increase the clan size. That would be the one thing I would say. Just have more than 100 people, because
I want 200, but I don't.
You could have more
people.
people.
Be bigger than that.
You could have more groups to. When you're crossplay, you can intermingle the clan more and have. More
We've already done that here.
Yeah,
and you guys kind of have too, right?
We're
yeah.
And that's. I would hope. I will say this. I would hope that they give us an increased clan size for crossplay, because I mean, like you said, it makes it easier. Because one thing I did always understand is when larger clans would split between consoles. You have for example, Destiny Reset podcast. Their first split was Xbox and PlayStation. That made sense because they have plenty of players on both sides. But now that we're intermingling, I would really hope, because there's going to be potentially a lot more people needing to split and create offshoot clans. They're still able to play together on a regular basis. So I would hope, for sure.
Well, when we're playing Crucible or raiding, it's almost always half Guardian Hub and half Guardian Down together anyway.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Point. Yeah.
The Guardian Hub Downcast. The Guardian Down Hubcast.
I don't know.
It was one of those. one of those.
Yeah. Or the clan. Yeah, the Hub Down clan. I don't know. It's going off the rails now, that's for sure.
Now you're going to be curious what the title
is. Destiny Net News Hub dot something.
Guardian Down.
Oh my God.
Titans and Hunters and... Come on. Okay, everyone, please write us the craziest name you can think of for a combined clan.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
And also, it's a real quick topic. It'd be cool if we had these, some games have it where clans can join up together and I forget what they call it, but some overall grouping where you kind of have friendly clans you team up with. That'd be cool if Destiny did that too.
Yeah, like a
Like
social
a
group.
guild or like, I don't know what they call it.
Alliances.
Like, alliances, yeah.
Yeah,
There we go. That would be nice. That would fix the bridge.
actually, it would.
Yeah.
Like if we could still get benefits, like the clan benefits for alliance people, that would be nice.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would actually
Are you
yeah, because that would actually also fit a lot of the larger clans as well. It's like you wouldn't necessarily need to clan hop just for. Yeah, just make things. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Or 200. I'm going with 200.
I mean, 200 would be a nice start for sure. Alliances would definitely be more of a long-term fix, but 200 is definitely like probably a more doable thing in the now.
For those listening at Bungie that listen to our podcast, maybe you have some plans, but if not, with crossplay coming out, please consider alliances or some other option.
Or write your governor and tell him to adjust the issue now. Or adjust it now.
Yeah,
Are
Joe
you
Blackburn,
listening,
we know
Bungie?
you listen.
Are you listening, Bungie? Come on.
Yep. All right. Well, great discussion. A lot that we talked about. If you disagree with Gator, write us. If you disagree with us, don't write us.
What?
I got
What
it.
the hell?
kidding.
What the hell did I get into?
just let us know how awful Gator is, and
This isn't where I parked my car.
Oh God, you guys.
Hey, well, did we ask you last time you came on? I'm trying to remember if we
yeah.
did that. Your favorite dessert? Did we do that?
It's always key lime pie, baby.
Okay. Well, then we gotta ask you something
Stereotypical.
else.
Uh-oh.
What's your favorite pest control product? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God.
Let's go with a drink. What's a good drink you like? Doesn't even have to be alcoholic, but just something that really
I'm not
floats your boat.
Yeah, I'm not a big alcohol drinker. I like cherry wine. I love cherry wine. You guys, it's like a soda. It's like a cherry soda.
Interesting.
Sparkling cherry soda.
Sounds like a boomer drink.
No, I don't know. It's at a lot of our restaurants locally, so I always get it if I
Especially-
have the option.
Oh, maybe it's a regional thing. I
It
haven't
sounds
heard
about
of
like
that.
cheer wine up here.
That's probably what I'm trying to say is cheer wine.
Cheer wine?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah, it's like a cherry.
Yeah,
It's like a red cherry soda thing. Which-
yeah.
Strangely, I didn't see it in Alabama. Moved up to South Carolina, and it's in my vending machine. And my wife's giving me a weird look, so apparently it was down there too. But anywho,
We do not have it here. I've never.
Oh no,
seen that.
yeah, cheer wine is definitely like a southern thing.
I mean,
It's not too fruity. It's got a little bite to it too. I like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it
huh.
personally.
We have cherry
Uh-huh.
7-Up cherry Cokes, but not just cherry
Yeah.
blah blah or whatever.
I like a cherry
Yeah.
vanilla Coke Zero too. That'd be good.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Well, good. I'll
Hey.
remember that if I visit Florida, which I do want to get back there. Especially when things calm down a little bit, get to Disney World. We had some plans as a family to take a tentative trip last year before we talked about it the Christmas before. We're like, yeah, in 2020, let's go to Florida and go to a Disney World trip. But it's on hold.
Yeah, life said no.
Yeah, because we're Disneyland fans. We grew up in Southern California, but we haven't gone to Disney
Oh.
World much. So we're kind of wanting to get back out there whenever we can in the future.
I would
Uh,
highly recommend Disneyland in the summer, not Disney World.
Well, the humidity doesn't bother me as much,
Okay.
but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's pretty bad in the summer. Pretty warm.
Of course, I will mention one story that's still on my mind.
Mhm.
That happened to me very recently. In fact, yesterday, day before, sometime soon. But it was funny because like I just have to say because again Slayers. But yeah, Elmer Fudd, huge friend of the show, even though he's never been on. We need to fix that. But
Yes.
huge friend sent me a picture over Discord.
He has been on. Not recently.
Oh wait, has
Well,
he?
He's been on.
Yes.
He's
Way
been
way
has-
back. Okay, yeah. Sorry. I guess
It was
Well,
a while
he hasn't
back.
been on. He hasn't been
Since
on since
you've-
I've been on, and that's an issue. Okay,
That's what I meant also at first. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he sent me a picture, and it was actually hilarious because he sends me this picture in like no context. So I send him as like nice ? And where he explains to me that he got to meet Kingsley,
Yes.
and so I have to explain to him. It's like, oh, I've never actually seen Kingsley before, so I didn't know who that was.
I saw
Oh yeah,
it
and
in
you
his
were
Discord.
because
Yeah, it was good.
I've been in a few Zoom calls, but again, I guess that was before Des. Like
Yeah.
when we did our, or maybe you weren't available. I don't know, but when we did our Zoom party night for Guardian Hub, we kind of had like a podcast, and then we did video for that, and then of course Hazel's birthday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to
Oh god,
get some more
I
video
just-
going.
it's my first.
I
time
just thought that
using
was
Zoom.
funny.
That is funny. That's cool. He sent you the picture. I mean, we had talked about it a little bit over in his Discord. I should have posted a picture in our Discord too. Yeah. He lives not too terribly far. The funny thing about, he lives in Denver, Colorado. I live in Salt Lake, Utah, maybe an 8-ish to 10-ish hour drive. I've been to Colorado several times, and there's been opportunities in the past where we've been in each other's area and we meant to meet up. Even though I don't talk to Elmer as much as some of all you might, but we meant to. And then this time it just worked out. He was visiting Park City, which is like this resort mountain town in the area, for his anniversary with his wife. We're like, hey, let's see if we can go do dinner. And it worked out, and it was glorious. And he is just as awesome as person as you would expect.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's great. He's a good guy.
Yeah, so that was like
That
was
is
just
hilarious
like
that he
a
sent you a
hilarious
picture.
occurrence because it's like, okay, it's you and somebody. But yeah.
Yeah, and I look goofy in that picture because we were just screwing around. We were in a gift shop. It was like at this ice cream gift shop, and there's like all these stuffed animals in the background. We're like, let's take a picture right here.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic though.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay. Well, Gator, we don't want this to end, but all good things must come to an end at some point. This is your last chance to tell us how much you love us or hate us. No, or if anything else you want to say.
Congratulations on 100. That's an amazing feat. I'll just reiterate what I said earlier. I was very honored you guys invited me for your 100th. It's got to be very special hitting that triple digit. And I know, Des, you've had experience with this before with your podcast. And no, I'm just I look forward to listening to you guys every week. Like I said, you're number 2 on my list every week.
Oh,
and again,
well, you're number 2 for me.
Good deal.
I don't really listen. Well, I guess I do listen to ours a little bit when I'm trying to get show notes together.
I just realized we put our announcement at the beginning of every podcast. It says we put timestamps in, and I forgot to put timestamps in this week.
I noticed. I didn't want to say anything, but I did notice.
Shame.
I'm sorry. I got to go back and do it and republish it. So I'll take care of it.
Shh, we can cut this part out, and maybe no one will notice.
Nah, it's okay. It's all right. I'm sure I'll get some feedback. Yeah.
Sin's like, no, I'm not cutting anything out. It's just going out as is.
Seriously. That's going to take work, and that's not on the table.
No, we just tend to do the one thing at the beginning, but we don't need to make your life harder. Okay.
I'm going to put in some music, and then I think I'm shipping as is.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us all the good information, obviously, about you and your podcast, because we definitely want people to join your Discord also and know about your podcast also.
Yeah, we have a Discord, Guardian Downcast. I always put the invite link in like a hyperlink in our description of our show notes. So if you look on our show notes, you'll see Guardian Downcast Discord community all bolded up. Just click that. It gives you the permanent invite. Never expires. And the best way to reach us is guardiandowncast.com. We have all of our details in there. We have Instagram. We're, of course, on Twitter. And, yeah, that's probably the best way to reach us. I'm on Twitter as at Todd the Gator. That's GATR. And I'm also on YouTube, GATR-Guardian Downcast. And you can also reach me at Hazel NT, anywhere and everywhere.
Complaints go to him.
All the good places.
Nice. Sin, let's wake you up and find out how to get a hold of you?
Wake you up before I go.
Mhm.
You can find me over at twitch.tv/SynMedia, Sin is CYN. And over on Twitter at Sin_media. We're in the game finding the Merciless Catalyst after however long it's been out in the game. That's right. It just dropped.
Nice.
In a strike. Des Raven, where can they find you?
Well, before you go, you can find me on Twitter at DES_Raven. I'll screw that up because don't leave me hanging like a yo-yo. Anyway, you can find me, of course, in the few Discords I'm in, lurking around, or raising Cain with Gator and Hazel on their episodes when I have to work a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting discussions. But yeah. Kingsley.
Yeah.
Take us home,
Yeah.
please.
Sure. Okay. You can. I'm at home. Hopefully, you're home right now.
Right.
You can find me as Kingsley Mac, all the places, including Twitch, where I stream occasionally, mostly just while I'm raiding. However, on Twitter, I'm MC Kingsley because someone took Kingsley Mac.
MC of the Twitter.
I know.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you can find us either on Twitter as The Guardian Hub or through our lovely website, theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Yes.
Guardians out.
Wrong
Hey,
show.
it's been a great honor to be at episode 100. Thanks, everyone, for listening, as always. And we will see you next week. This is where you say Guardians out.
Guardians out.
You gotta do it all off sync.
Guardians out.
Bye.
Bye.
Toddles.
Whew. This is a 3-hour-ish, huh?
Oh,
You guys aren't used to
God.
this.
Yeah.
You guys aren't used to this, are you?
I hate you
know.
all.
Because I was thinking when we were like a half an hour ago, I was like, do we need a potty break? Coffee and Coke. Coke and coffee.
got- Tea and water. That's all I can handle tonight.
No, tea and water together to water it down even more.
Well, the tea that I'm drinking
I got
makes my throat a little chalky, so I kind of do half and half with each.
But we'll just read through this, and then at the last line, I'll start it, and at the last line, then we'll just cut to silence, and then that part will be before the music, and then of course I'll start the normal intro.
That's good. I'm
afterwards.
proud of you guys doing a skit. I like this. I like this. We're rubbing off on you guys. It seems
Hey.
like we're rubbing off a little.
All right, everyone have it pulled up. That's what she said.
Script at end of document.
Does that mean yes, Sin?
What's funny, I do have Iron Banner up. I like this.
Okay, this is going to be perfect. Okay.